You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode. You know what, Carson? I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, but I should have gotten another Dr. Pepper because I already finished it in the time that we've been sitting here just chatting it up. We forgot to hit record like 8 times. This is like the 5th time we tried recording this episode.
That sounds like something dumb you did.
It was. Speaking of dumb things that we've done, this is episode 90.
That's right. It's pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah, we're pretty deep in here. We're deep. We're in deep. Yeah, so
how deep are we? How deep into the month are we, Gavin?
We're mid-month. This is our Thanksgiving episode, so we're going to be giving a lot of thanks.
It's not really the middle of the month.
Mid to late month?
Mid to end of the month.
Mid to late?
I would say it's more the end.
We're recording this on Tuesday, November 22nd, so the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. You'll be hearing this on Black Friday.
That's right, man. This is our Black Friday special. You know what?
You know what that means? That's the 25th, by the way.
That is the 25th. It'll be gone, man. I'll be
out
of
that's
town.
Right. You're going on a road trip.
Road trip. I'm recreating.
He's going with Florida Blake.
Florida Blake, yeah. Shout out Florida Blake. Him and I will be driving down there.
It's crazy because like you've talked about Florida Blake so many times. You've
never met him.
I've never met him. It's this person up in the sky to me.
You know where he is? Right up here.
That's
where I keep him.
Florida Blake was what you used to call your drunk persona, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Florida Blake, poor Florida Blake. Maybe we'll be listening to this on the drive down there. I won't be because I've already heard it twice at that point. The trip almost got. I'm doing this road trip from St. Louis all the way down to we're literally driving through the whole state of Florida, all the way down to the Keys where Florida Blake lives.
You get to hit some flamingos on the way down.
That's right. Bing.
Yeah.
Get some. I'll talk more about that next week after it's done. That's really that's pretty much literally all that's been planned into it. More. I mean, there's a little bit more to it, but it's very. It's gonna be loose. We're gonna be drinking and driving.
Here's your keys. You deserve these.
Yeah.
They have autopilot in that truck. So
autopilot.
They have autopilot in the truck, so your bell's job is just a little junk.
Right. So we're doing this road trip, and he's flying. Florida Blake is flying up to he's gonna be St. Louis Blake starting tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Wow.
He has to get his name legally changed. I'm gonna tell him all of this because he has no idea that we call him Florida Blake. The trip almost had to get canceled.
Because of the hurricanes?
No, there's no hurricanes.
Oh, okay.
There is
the Carolina Hurricanes hockey team being so bad, you got to cancel it.
Dude, tell me about it. The New York Islanders beat the prick out of the Guardians. So, don't you spit, you little slut.
Oh, that hurt.
Hey, man, it never hurts to.
Anyway,
so
what were you saying?
God, I like to watch you drink. Nothing like a man drinking out of a tall glass. Nothing like a man drinking some brown liquid out of a tall glass. What a sight. Oh, my God. What a thing of beauty right there. Don't you spit. You have to buy me all new carpets. All right. So he's coming up here. He's flying up here tomorrow. That's unimportant. I've already said that 3 times now. We almost had to cancel. Said that twice now, because on Sunday I texted him about. I texted him. I was like, "Hey, what time are you flying up on Wednesday?" And he said, "Well,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. What did I say?
No, I know. I'm just saying about Wednesday.
Well, he's like, we'll have to see how I'm feeling because I woke up at about 6 a.m. with terrible, lower back pain. He's like, I went to the emergency room and they said I have a kidney stone.
I was gonna say that's the first thing I thought of.
Right. And I was like, ooh, because I've heard how absolutely horrid that pain is. And if it doesn't pass, quickly, you're just in that pain for forever. Literally, you die with that pain still. So he's
I
like,
can't speak on it.
I can't either. I've never had a pain.
Knock on wood.
I got a pain in my neck. He's sitting right across from me. So he tells me that, and I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, we talked about it.
Let's drive it out.
Let's just drive it out. So you can still do it. Just fly it out. Actually, it's a crazy thing. If you have a kidney stone on a plane, it'll just drop right out.
That's what they do.
It like rips out of your intestine or your kidney. It just and comes out of your body.
And then you're waiting. Then you're waiting at the other end. Yeah.
Open mouth.
Please.
So he tells me that, and I'm like, oh shit. And so he's like, I think the average is from like 1 to 5 inches. No, 1 to 5 millimeters. It's like the average size. And he's like,
and they said this one's 10.
And he said this one's 30 centimeters. He said it's the size of his kidney. It's just, what if your kidney was it just like the whole thing filled with a big stone. So he says that the doctor told him that the tube that connects the kidney to the bladder is only 4 millimeters wide, and his stone was 4.1 millimeters. So he's like, they said it should pass fine, whatever. So I was like, well, shit. I'm like, if it gets canceled, that's, whatever, shit happens.
Pull your protractor out, you'll get it.
Right. Just get your prenis out and prop it out. Why can't you just like jerk it out? Can you just jerk the stone out, right? So he texted me this today or yesterday. Yeah, and
anyway,
yeah,
it popped out the end and it went boonk, and he's like, oh, thank God I need to text Carson this.
Right, I need to show him. He was live streaming it actually. And so he texted me at
fifth urination of the day.
Right, he texted me at 1 p.m. yesterday after like over 24 hours of dealing with this pain, and he's like, it passed. He's like, it passed. He's like, it's a nasty son of a bitch, but it's gone. I'm like, how are you feeling? He's like a lot better. He's like, I'm moving around. I'm doing stuff. So the trip is still on. It was almost canceled, long story short. But yeah, he said that they gave him like a filter to put over the toilet, like a mesh filter to put over the toilet that he's supposed to pee through so he could catch it. Why he needed to catch it, I don't know. Maybe the doctor likes to chew on him or something. I'm not entirely
little
sure.
Rock that he puts in the back of his mouth.
What if you walked into his office and on his windowsill he just has a bunch of little rocks?
Or he has it like a pill bottle.
Oh yeah, he just has a box,
Yeah.
a bottle.
He creates shakers out of it, like.
And he picks out his favorite ones and sands them down into marbles.
Mm-hmm. It's like a pearl.
And he plays marbles with the boys.
Yeah, it's like a pearl, and it's
Right.
like it waits for it and like has to pry it open, and like it's weird.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He actually does that with the gallstones of people who have died. He like cracks them open like oysters, and he just takes out the stones.
He puts them in a like a stone polisher.
Right, dude. There was this YouTube channel I used to watch all the time when I was like probably 13 or so. I want to say, I'm not going to look them up, but I want to say they were called like Reckless Eating or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was like a food-based channel where they ate gross things or hot things or maybe normal things from time to time, but it was like a taste test channel.
Mm.
And they were all like weird, like podunk Midwestern guys who had like shitty tattoos and wore those newsy boy hats because they were going bald at the age of 30 and they were not healthy looking people. And I remember, I think it was around the time I stopped watching them, and it might have been because of this. They did a video where the main guy, his friend had gallstones. And they got...
I don't know why that's so funny. It's just the concept of
get
having
ready for this, because it's weird. They get the gallstones from his friend, and they like suck on them.
Okay, yeah.
For like a video, for like a little video thing. He's like, we're going to be eating gallstones, but you obviously can't eat them. So they just put them in their mouth and like, yep, it's like a big rock. And then like that was it. And I was like, why? Why would you?
I wonder how many pebbles like on the playground were made of gallstones and kidney stones.
That's what I've been wondering, man.
And I used to put those in my mouth.
And that's how these people are grooming our children. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be going on a trip very soon, and I'm looking forward to it. But it almost got canceled, man. But you know,
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
I don't know all the words that he said there. So this week on this week's episode, we got a whole. I thought that was a soundbite.
No, that's me.
That freaked me out. Don't do that again. You sound like a Cartoon Network. So rest in peace. This week we got a whole bunch of stuff. A lot of it carried over from last week, but some of it's some new stuff. I got some life updates to give you. I gave you one of them at the beginning of the show, but I got a couple more. We're going to be talking about Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Gavin already said that. We got some sneaker news we're finally going to go over. It's all old news at this point. Of course, we have our Next Door Drama segment we do every week. That seemed longer than normal. We're going to talk about a little bit about Twitter, not too much. I'm kind of getting burnt out on talking about Twitter. But this one is interesting, important. I don't know if it's really important, but we're going to be talking about the World Cup in Qatar. Maybe talk about Russia. Probably not. I'm not really up to date. There was a thing that happened last week, so that's kind of old news. I don't really know if it's worth rehashing. And then we're finally, for sure, going to be going over the 20 worst Beatles songs as crafted by Tim Heidecker and company on The Best Show last week. A week ago today, actually. Right? Yeah, because we did last episode on a Wednesday. So we are going to finally be going over that because as you know, if you're a listener of this show, Gavin is a certified Beatles expert. And I really do mean that. You play this guy a second of a Beatles song, and he will know it. We proved it on the show with Brendan Batchelor. I don't remember what episode number that is, but
we'll do it again.
Well, it'll come back again sometime because this guy knows his shit, and I don't.
I could probably do that with.
I appreciate the Beatles.
I think I could do that with 3 artists. It was the Beatles,
Ghost, the Black Keys,
maybe Ghost,
Arctic Monkeys.
No, I was gonna say Royal Blood. I've listened to Royal Blood's album. Like I've listened to all of those albums.
What do they have? 2 albums?
3?
I was gonna listen to them the other day and I forgot to.
They're pretty safe.
Yeah.
They're nothing like your type of stuff.
They're not NSFW.
No, they're not. They're
I'll
not
describe my
NSFW.
band
Yeah,
as NSFW.
Yeah. That's your music taste. Is just NSFW.
Really, it really is, dude. Hardcore, man. What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's a lot of choking going on in that.
Yeah.
Can we just start off with my life updates, please? Can we please?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna.
He's gonna go get another Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper. I can set. So I got a couple things. I'll set up my 3 things, and then we'll go through them individually. You'll hear them. Okay, so I have 3 life updates that don't have to do with going on my trip or about the thing for office hours I've been working on. I'm going to talk about both of those next week after they've happened. So 3 things, like I said. I have a medical issue to talk about that Gavin already knows about. I've got something very personal, maybe a little bit gross if you're really sensitive, that has to do with my butt. And then I got a 3rd thing about speaking of not safe for work music, about a concert I went to recently. That was fun, but there's an interesting tidbit about that. So, a bit of a tingy ping. That's a reference from another show, but I just wanted to say it. I really wish I knew what that fucking video was I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
You
gotta listen back.
That has to do with that other podcast that I just
Yeah,
referenced,
you gotta bring that. You gotta listen back to that episode, and
Let's
find it.
bring it back. Okay, so Gavin, as you know, to set this up a little bit, I don't know what's wrong with me, man.
You go to the doctor, and he's like, "So what's up,
Doc?
Like,
I
have no idea."
Let's role play. You be the doctor.
Carson.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you feeling today?
Man, Doc, I don't know what's wrong with me. What can you tell me? I got nothing going right in my life.
Doing a melodrama, like a stage theater.
That's what I was doing it as.
Okay.
Doc, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, Carson, let's take a look. What's going on? Go ahead and tell me what are some individual problems, and then you break into song where you're like,
Yeah.
first I got a gout infection on my right toe.
Now my wife left me for a guy named Joe.
There you go.
Writes itself. So I don't know what's wrong with me, Doc.
We got a great musical ahead of us, guys.
Right. What is it about? Going to the doctor? Is it just about going to the doctor?
I
Or maybe that's a side story.
Yeah.
It's called Married with Children. So, Gavin, there's something with my lungs that we've talked about a little bit on the show, more or less me and you privately.
It's mainly just because you just pour liquid into it and expect that it's going to be good.
Right, and they're like, you keep getting pneumonia. You cannot keep putting liquid into your lungs.
You have COPD. You need to stop, breathing.
And I'm like, I know I got CO2, PD. So
I don't make the rules, Doc. I follow them.
Apparently, they think I have asthma, right? But yet I've been.
Those damn doctors think I have asthma of some sort.
So these fucking quacks, right? They think I have asthma. They also say I'm getting overweight because I keep drinking soda.
Those fuckers.
What do they know? So that last part wasn't true.
Shut up, bitch.
That's what I keep telling them.
Yeah.
But I got a test, a full pulmonary test that took a fucking hour.
Yeah, you breathe into a tube.
Yeah, breathe into a tube. They put me in a cryogenic chamber.
Yeah. They
Make
freeze
me-
your lungs.
Yeah, they make me jerk off 6 times. Boy, that guy was a little weird, wasn't he? So
There wasn't a light on.
I've been checked for asthma. Put a finger up my ass.
Yeah.
Say, breathe in. Breathe in until you can feel
He
it.
told me to take off my pants and cut my balls and cough, turn my head to the side and cough. Like a
Cut
fucking
my-
quack.
Right, like the quack he is.
Yeah.
So I've been tested for asthma. I did that whole pulmonary test, which came back that I was so close to being
Non-asthmatic.
being considered asthmatic.
Oh, okay.
They're because it was funny, and I was like,
It was a pulmonary function test.
yeah, exactly. It was funny because the nurse said something to me that at first I was like, oh yeah, I need to try harder, because she was like, fuck you. She was like, she's like, let's do it one more time. She's like, you're so close to being considered asthmatic. Let's just keep trying. I'm like, okay, let's do it again. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want to be considered asthmatic. Why would I try harder?
Yeah, no.
Of course I'm going to get asthmatic. You're making
Yeah.
me breathe 1,000
Well-
times. I'm going to start wheezing.
Well, normal people wouldn't have that issue.
But mine's not even from exerting
So you could go run
Energy.
a mile.
and be fine.
Okay.
I sit here and I can't breathe. My chest gets tight. The way I have to sit in these chairs. I'm getting a new chair, by the way. I'm really
Good.
excited
Yeah,
about
me
it.
too. I need to get one.
Because I can't, because of my back, because of the way my back is, which is the reason why I think my chest gets so tight and I can't breathe, is because of my surgeries. But they've checked it and they're like, oh no, you're fine. And I'm like, there's something more to it because it feels really
Patient-centered
weird.
healthcare, folks.
So,
It's a good thing.
but yeah, so doing any of that stuff, I'm fine. But sitting down is when it gets worse. So they can't really consider me to be asthmatic, but they're like, let's try these inhalers. Let's try this medicine. So right now I'm on this powdered inhaler that you snort. No, that you breathe in. I'm also on a medicine called Singular. They're kind of helping. It's weird. They'll help right away. And then once I get more used to the medicine, they start kind of getting worse. But I also think it might be the change of weather, whatever. So speaking of the inhaler, it's this, like I said, it's this type of powdered inhaler that normal inhaler, when you think of it, it's like a gas, right? You that was weird.
Well,
You
I mean, it was
squeeze it
gonna
down, you squeeze it down, and you breathe it in. But this is you just unscrew it and you just breathe in real fast and it just shoots the powder into your lungs, hopefully.
But not
So-
too fast because it shoots to the back of your throat.
Is that true? You're not supposed to do it too fast? Or maybe that's what I've been doing wrong. I thought you were supposed to do it fast. So
I thought we did too, and then I did
and then you did it. You tried.
No,
it
then
right.
we I'm not kidding. We had a lab where it
Right.
was a twisty thing, and you would suck in,
Mhm.
and it would tell you if you're sucking in too fast or just.
Oh.
Yeah.
So those ones you're supposed to do it kind of slower.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay.
You
Maybe I'll
can.
try that. So that's probably what I was doing
Not
wrong.
enough to like sit on your tongue, but not
Right.
fast enough that it just projects into the back of your throat.
Right. Which is probably what I was doing. So it's very common that you can develop this thing called thrush, which is a fungal infection in your mouth.
Wow, you suck, dude. Yeah.
Which sounds just as disgusting as it is. So, this is I haven't told you this part yet. So they said it's very common. It just happens, but it's mostly something that happens in kids for some reason. I don't really know why. Do you know why that is? Because they're just gross.
Yeah, because they're just gross.
So that's
mouth.
Right. That's where it's most common is with in babies, not even just kids, babies. So last week on Wednesday when we recorded the last podcast, I started to notice that throughout the podcast that when we were drinking that Mountain Dew that I was like, my mouth feels really weird. And I was like, I think it's just like the sugar and grossness because sometimes my mouth will feel gross after drinking soda. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, sugar can exasperate.
Right. Exactly.
Fungal infection.
Exactly. So I'm like, this feels really fucking weird.
You're like, this doesn't taste good at all. Actually.
Well, the soda tasted great,
Oh.
but then it would like make my mouth kind of chalky and weird. So that was happening during the last episode. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, whatever. Show gets over. My mouth just keeps getting like weirdly dry and like feels like there's something in there. And I just kept like trying to hawk up whatever it was. And then I finally took a light and looked in there. And I was like, oh, it just looks like mucus or something. So I tried to take a toothbrush and scrub at it, which you're not supposed to do because then it rips those off and makes like sores in your mouth. So I get a little bit off, but it's like it's not really getting off. And so I'm like, this is fucking weird. Sorry, just a mushroom came out. There are little mushrooms in there.
Mm-hmm. That's what I imagine every time someone's like, it's a fungal infection, but I know it's not. That's not what it looks like.
So gross.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it literally just looks like this like caked on white stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like they described it as looking like cottage cheese, which it kind of did. It doesn't look like that anymore. But I promise, you can kiss me on the mouth and I'll prove it. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? My mouth, I almost thought I wasn't gonna be able to sleep because of how like, I don't know, just like dry and weird and like whatever. And then so I'm laying in bed and then I'm like, oh shit, it's probably thrush, isn't it? I was like, fuck. I was like, great. Because at that point I was like, I don't know what you have to do to treat that. But I'm like, just another thing I have to deal with.
Yeah.
So then I call the doctor the next day.
Well, stress isn't good on the body, so you're more susceptible to infections too. So.
Well, also it's very common with this inhaler, and I was probably doing it wrong. So I called the doctor the next day.
You said, hey, Doc, I don't know what's wrong with me.
Doc, I don't know what's going on. I can't breathe. So I talked to the secretary or whoever, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a patient. He said this is normal to happen because my thing is like, especially last week. Now I'm chilling. I've got all this like big stuff out of the way, but last week I was like stressing because I was like, I got to get this stuff done. I can't waste any time going to the fucking doctor, which is why I was so like, fuck this whenever I found out I had it.
Yeah.
Or when I realized that's probably what it is. And so like my goal was to try and convince them over the phone that I had it and to give me the whatever I needed for it. I didn't know what I needed for it at the time. Like that was my plan. I'm like, I'm going to try and not go to the doctor and just get them to give me whatever I need for it.
Make it sound like you have like fungal growing around your mouth, like it's going out of your mouth.
No, I really definitely got it. It's really bad. No, I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to sound frantic. I wanted to sound like I knew what I was talking about and just be like, I'm like, yeah, he said. I was like, yeah, he said this probably happened. Like, he said it's normal. So it's like, I just need to know whatever I need to do to fix it. Like literally, that's what I said to try and convince them just to be like, oh yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And guess what, Gavin? It worked.
Oh really?
Yeah. So. She's like, I'm like on the phone with her and I'm like, I'm telling her what it is. And she goes to me and she's like, it was funny because I was just like, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's thrush and yada, yada. And I'm just like talking. And in the middle of me talking, she interrupts and goes, oh, you poor little baby, you got thrush. And I was like, I like kind of stopped for a second. And then I started laughing because I was like, I didn't hear what she was saying at first.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, like exactly. I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, well, let me, give me your number and we'll go out for dinner. And I'll scrape it out of you. No, she's like, give me your number. I'll call you back. I'll talk to the doctor and see what we can do. I'm like,
And
okay.
then you hear the doctor in the background. He's like, don't bring him in. Don't bring him in.
I don't wanna see him."
don't want to see him. And then you're like, Doc, is that you?
Doc? Is that the doc? Can you put him on the phone, please? Doc, I don't know what's going on with me. There's some real bad stuff going on with me, Doc.
Yeah. You immediately flip the switch from sounding like
Doc.
No. Sounding like you know what you're talking about to like, I don't know what's going on.
Doc, I don't know what's going on with me. My toes are falling off as we speak. I think it has to do
My
with
tongue's
lungs.
turning purple
My tongue is purple. So,
because of this inhaler.
right. So they're like, we'll see what we can do. We'll call you back. They don't call me back for the rest of the day, of course, because that's a normal doctor office thing to do.
As most doctor offices.
Right.
do, yeah.
The next morning, Friday morning, right? No, that can't
Thursday.
be right. Yeah. No, it was Friday because I called him on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Friday is when I called him back. Different lady this time, thank God. I didn't want to talk to the same lady because then I would have to do I always get so nervous about doing that because I don't want to talk to the same person and be like, hey, you didn't call me back. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So luckily it was the one other secretary that works there or nurse practitioner. I don't know what it was. And then I hear the other one in the background going, oh, is that Carson? Yeah. Like we got, I just hear her like mumbling. And then she's like,
puts her hand over. Yeah, it's Carson. Shut the fuck up.
yeah, he's really fucking weird. Keeps saying doc and stuff and asking for the doc. Saying he doesn't know what's wrong with him.
He doesn't need to be admitted to the hospital, all this other stuff. It's
He
so
said
weird.
he's fine, got a gun in his house.
Yeah.
So eventually she's like, okay, we're gonna send this prescription to your pharmacy like it should be there today.
You're like, God, thanks, Doc.
Oh God, you're a lifesaver, Doc. That's it. Doc, you're a lifesaver. I'm the secretary.
I'm not the doc.
Well, can you tell the doc he's a lifesaver?
Can you please let him know? Please, for the love of God.
Just put me on speaker.
Let me talk my heart out to him.
God, just put me on speaker.
Is the doc in the room with you right now? I gotta get him on the
Is
phone.
the doc there with you? Oh, God, Doc, you're a lifesaver. You really did it this time, Doc.
Yeah.
You don't know what this means to
You
me.
go on for like 15 minutes and they
Yeah.
have you on mute. And it's like you like talking your heart out of get to this doc, and then it cuts to them like just like scrolling on their phone.
Yeah.
Like in the room.
And then it's like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to send the prescription to you. Yeah, we'll get the prescription right over. All right, bye. And I hang up. God,
God, that was such a great interaction.
God.
I love my doc.
God, Doc. Man,
You nailed it this time.
I'm going to have to send him a Christmas card this year for that one. He is a lifesaver. Next time I'm talking to somebody, they're like, you've been dealing with the stuff with my lungs. Oh, you got to see my doc. He is the best. He can do miracles. Do you know what he did for me?
He works miracles.
Let me tell you what he did for me.
He gave me an antifungal for my fungal infection.
I got thrush.
I got thrush,
Like
right?
a poor little baby.
Yeah, every
And I
time.
had
Every
to
time
fix
every time you say thrush, somebody goes, "Oh, poor little baby."
Aw.
Yeah. Oh.
I just loved how condescending it was. Like it was
Yeah.
like
Out of the blue.
she was talking very normally,
Yeah.
very like professionally, and then she's like, "Oh, you poor little baby." And at first, I thought that she thought that I had a baby
Yeah.
who got it, which I
Yeah.
don't know how any of those words I said.
No,
to her could mean
imagine
that.
you're just like, imagine you interpreted that like that. You're like, no, I don't have it. I have thrush. I don't have a. My kid. I don't have a kid.
I'm baby.
I'm the baby here.
No. I'm baby. I'm
I'm baby. You doc.
No. It's just me. I'm baby. Let me talk to Doc. Put Doc on the phone. You're being disrespectful. Put
Yeah.
Doc on the
Yeah,
phone.
please.
Doc would never talk to me like this. Doc, is that you? I hear him in the background. Can you put him on the phone? He's a goddamn
He
lifesaver.
opens up the door. He hears you on the phone, then tiptoes back out.
Is that Carson? Oh shit! Wait, who is it? Who's that on the phone? Oh, it's Carson. Oh shit! Doc, is that Doc? Oh, just tell him I'm not here. Doc, I hear you. Is that you? You're a lifesaver. Okay. So, anyways, I don't even know where I'm at this point. Okay, so yeah.
So you got
they
your
tell me-
antifungal.
Yeah, without even having to go see a doctor, without even see a doc or anything. They just like send it to my.
You had a telehealth
pharmacy.
visit, technically.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Over the television. So I got it. I've been treating it. Looks a lot better. My mouth doesn't feel dry anymore. So
That's good.
yeah. So my next life update
Mm-hmm.
has to do with my butt, my tush, my rump roast. This could get a little racy. No, this could get a little bit gross. Is that racy means like kind of gross, right? It doesn't actually mean like racist, or does it?
No, it doesn't mean racist.
I didn't think it did. So I used that right.
Racy is lively, entertaining, and mildly titillatingly sexual.
Yeah, it's not really sexual. Well,
Showing
So-
vigor or spirit, or a wine,
Wine?
of a wine is having a characteristic quality in a high degree.
so I could say that this wine is racy.
Mm-hmm.
I would never say that.
That's definitely something some old people would say.
So I, again, if you get grossed out easily, it's not going to get too graphic because it's
But-
really not that gross. It's just a little
But
weird.
he's gonna show his
Gonna
butt on the
show
screen.
my
So
butt.
yeah,
So click through to see that.
yeah. Here's the timestamp, and then we'll tell you whenever it's done.
So this morning, it was more this afternoon, I had to expel my bowels and took a dump, took a deuce.
Yeah.
Now, as you know, Gavin, I'm very proud of something I own.
Your
which is
bidet.
not my butt. My bidet. My bidet is very precious to me. I bring it everywhere I go, every trip I've ever been on. That's not true. But I love it. I love my bidet. I speak very highly of it. But I don't.
Everybody should get a bidet.
Everybody needs a bidet. But I don't know if I ever truly found the exact correct way to use it. And I think I have to be using it wrong because I've never heard anybody talking about what happens to me when using this bidet.
Okay.
First of all, my bidet is very powerful. Humble brag. You twist,
bidet
you
is
turn the
more
knob.
powerful of all time.
The biggest bidet.
So good.
It sprays 600 psi. You twist it a little bit, and it's already firing, right?
Right.
But the thing is I don't know exactly where you're really supposed to aim it. And I think you're supposed to aim it at your bang hole,
Yeah.
but I don't think you're supposed to have the pressure up too high, right?
So you like having the pressure high?
Not really. Not that high. It gets scary down there.
With the pressure being high?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it kind of
Genuinely hurts.
like if it's too high, it hurts. So, but like you have to be real sensitive with the
I
knob,
just
with the
imagine
dial.
that. Just like, yeah.
It's not real. I'm used to it now. I'm well prepared. So
I've been training it for months.
I also think that you're not supposed to turn it on and just leave it on
yeah.
for like an hour or whatever.
Yeah, you can't just sit there with the bidet
Right.
running
I
on
think
your
you're supposed,
ass.
turn it on, turn it off. If you need it again, shift around, whatever. That's what you're supposed to do. But I'd like to do stuff on my phone while I'm taking drumps. And so, I just turned it on probably a little bit higher than it should have, and it was right on the bullseye, right?
Yeah, so you jumped up like, ow!
So it's aiming at the bullseye, which is fine. Like I said, you put it on the bullseye. It's fine. It's okay. You just, don't put it up too high.
The winking eye.
The chocolate starfish.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
it's firing at it. I go onto my phone, and then, like it'll get up a little bit into your
Anus.
not very far,
Your
and then
anal
like
cavity,
you turn it
your
off,
prison pocket.
and then it kind of like falls out of your
Yeah.
your bunghole,
Yeah.
which is I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not, but that's what happens to me, and it's fine. Like it's
On
never.
the online bidet forums, do they speak very highly of this feature?
I'll get to that in a minute.
coveted? Is it a coveted feature? In
I don't
bidets?
know. I still don't really know, but that'll happen sometimes, and it's fine, right? So I'm sitting there and I feel this happening, and it's like whatever, it's like I'm just gonna do whatever on my phone. But then something happened that has never happened before, and I still am a little bit nervous about it right now. And you're a doctor, so you can help me, Doc.
I haven't had GI.
The water it's cold water.
Uh-huh.
You can get ones with warm water. Mine is like tap cold, especially in the morning when you first use it. It's very cold.
Does it warm up over
And
time?
I mean,
You
it
have to
gets
let
to
it
like
run? You
it
have to
gets
let
to
it run and
yeah,
just spray
yeah,
that?
right. It gets to lukewarm eventually.
So what happened, buddy? Tell me.
It's firing off, and I feel it getting in my bang hole a little bit. And then, so how your intestine, after a certain point up your butt, up your rectum, it becomes like a vacuum for both pushing in and pushing out.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's like,
Do you think you got water up in your intestine?
There's been like stories where people will shove things up their butt and it never comes back. And it literally like makes its way really far up until it gets stuck.
Yeah.
Like objects, not
Yeah.
liquids. People do butt chug liquids to get drunk faster.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there and then all of a sudden I just feel like something move really fast in my lower extremities, in my insides, in my stomach area, lower stomach area, move really fast and become really cold, like super cold. And I was like, whoa. And I immediately turned it off. And I was like, oh shit. Like I just sucked water up my ass.
Yeah, it'll come out in due time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, or it's going to be reabsorbed into your body. Yeah.
Because like I felt weird all day since that.
Yeah.
I sat there for a minute, like trying to get it out, and it might have come out. I don't know. It's mostly air. I think those are called farts.
No, I think it'll come out.
But like this was the weird part.
It's just
and
water.
I think it was from trying to.
It's just water, right? Like you didn't put anything.
Well, no, I was kidding. Yeah, I was trying to swallow pills, and that was the only way to get them down.
It'd be different if you were taking like a suppository or something.
But I was like sitting there, and I think I figured out now that this is probably just from trying to push a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
But I stood up, and I didn't get dizzy, but my head just started pounding, and I woke up with a headache. But like at that point, it was like
probably from pushing.
It was gone.
You were pushing too hard.
So I woke up. No, I stood up, and my head was just pounding, and then I was like, oh fuck, I feel like I'm gonna puke. And in the meantime, I feel like I can still feel it. Like my lower stomach still feels cold. And so then I'm like fucking panicking because I literally just watched or listened to the episode of the H3 podcast where they had Howie Mandel, and it's a whole long story. I don't feel like
he talked about prolapsed anus.
They had a guy come on to prolapse for Howie, and he talked about over douching and how he once got liquid stuck up in his intestines or something, somehow stuck up in there. So at that point, I'm like, what is that? What happens when it gets stuck? Where does it get stuck? Because I'm like you said, I'm like, well, it'll just come out, right? But what does he mean by stuck?
I don't know. I think that you might be in your head about that. I think it'll come
for
out.
Sure. I'm way in my head about
I think
it.
it'll come out eventually. And if it doesn't, then that would be whenever it's a problem. But
right.
I would imagine it wasn't a volume that was like so much it would overwhelm any system that would be coming out afterwards. Like if you were to like your body will, if you eat enough in the day, your body will create a whole nother shit.
Right. Well, that's what I was right, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, well, it's just gonna come out.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, man, is it gonna come out at Target today? Like, when is it gonna come out?
Yeah.
I don't know if I should trust these air shooters.
Yeah.
But I just like the whole day I felt weird. And like I feel fine now, but again, I know I'm just overthinking it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I think
fuck, my lower back hurts now, and like
probably,
all this other stuff.
I mean, it's the same thing whenever somebody tries anal for the first time. It's
right, which I did.
Yeah,
last night.
yeah, and you had to go deeper with the bidet.
Right.
I understand. Bleach your asshole. It's all different.
Get bleach. I put bleach into the bidet.
Yeah.
But I just felt like weird all day, and then like
it's probably it's a new experience to you. It's new. Your body's never experienced that before, so it was probably just like
so cold.
Yeah, it was probably like, wow, this is fucked up.
Right.
Like, wow, I never want to do this again.
It was weird, man. And then like
I had something.
It had nothing to do. I'm sure it has nothing to do with it, but my head just hurt all day after that. Like so bad up until like I ate dinner and I'm fine now.
You popped a blood vessel in your brain?
I don't know, but it was like it hurt. Dude, like I was telling you before the show, like I was at the point where I was like, I don't know if I can do the show today because I do not feel good. And I was like really anxious too and stuff. Probably because of that. It was just weird. So weird. So don't get liquids up your butt because you will feel weird all day.
I will say one time, I think this is in 8th grade, I like tried to pee with a boner and it's hard to do that. And that entire day I was like, I tried peeing at a urinal with it and I was like, I'm never peeing with a boner again. It was very like, this was horrible. I'm never doing it again.
What about it was so bad?
I don't remember, but I remember.
I don't mean to brag.
No, I remember it was like the first time I'd ever done it, so it was like my body was just like, "Holy fuck, never do that again."
Huh.
I don't know why, but I was just.
I probably felt the same.
It was terrible. Like I remember feeling awful that whole day. I'm like, I really did something weird.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that was something that I should not have done.
Right. So it's just I know I'm just getting up in my head about it.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm like, well, you never know.
Yeah. I mean, keep a little
Right,
bit, but
for sure.
keep a safe amount. But don't think about it too much. I think
trying
that
not to.
guy probably paranoid you a little bit.
For sure, because I'm like, what is he talking about? Trapped? What was Trapped? The band who sang Headstrong? Headstrong, take you on. I bleached. I douched my ass so much that I was listening to Trapped.
See,
So
like,
that was
douching's
fucking
like a
weird.
process of cleaning it out. I don't think you're
Yeah, but you
cleaning
can
it out.
douche with water,
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
which
you're
is
not-
like what's a bidet doing?
Yeah, but you're not pushing it into your body.
That's true. Douching, you're actually pushing.
Yeah,
it
you're
up
like
in
putting water in there.
there. Bidet, you're not purposely pushing up in there, but when you get it on the bullseye, bing.
It would be like getting soap in your eye, and then you're like, "Fuck, my eye feels bad all day."
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Well,
It's a
I did that the other
foreign-
day, and it was
a
like,
foreign
wow, this
candy.
fucking sucks. And I felt like shit the whole day because I was like, "There's soap in my eye."
I kind of get off on that, really.
Yeah,
Getting
you
soap
should
in my eye.
do that more often.
No, getting soap in my
Oh.
eye.
I bet the second time you do that, you'll feel fine.
And then I just
You
start-
won't even notice it the second time,
I get soap in my eye, it gets me off, and then I'm peeing with boners all day.
and it's horrible.
I like it. I wish I could do it all the time.
Yeah, but I just remember doing that in 8th grade. I was like, "Wow,
That's
to
funny.
relate to like a first time thing
Right.
happening where it's like,
Right.
yeah,
I mean,
don't like that."
This actually has to do with a thing we were texting about earlier that we'll talk about next month. But whenever I had my surgery on my neck, I was on opioids
Mhm.
for
Constipation.
painkillers, and I will always say it, and I stick to it 100%. I absolutely hate opioids, not because of what they do to other people, but because they make me so constipated.
Yeah,
They are. I hate. As soon as I'm out of the hospital, I'm like, do not give me any more opioids. Throw them all away. I will suffer with the pain on just ibuprofen or acetaminophen because I feel absolutely horrible. It just like backs me up so fast, and to the point where both times I had surgery and was in the hospital for almost a week each time, I like couldn't poop for that whole week. And then I get home, I'm like, I gotta go, but I can't.
yeah,
And so
and it hurts.
the second time was the worst.
like a
I had
rock.
to The second time was the worst. I tried laxatives. It was just like inside goo that came out, nothing at all.
Yeah,
And I tried that multiple
I know.
times, and
Yeah.
then they're like, well, there's these things called suppository laxatives, and they're like, that'll get that stuff out of you pretty damn quickly. They're
Mhm.
like, you put that up there, you might want to just sit over the toilet. And it's weird, man. It looks like a little candle.
Yeah. No, I know. I made them.
It's like this big.
I made them in
You
lab.
made them?
Yeah, I made them before.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You got any?
No.
So they look like a candle if you've never seen one, and they're decently big.
Was it like the thin one or was it like a cone shaped one?
I remember it being shaped like
It was like a rocket.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was more like a rocket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like, I was just like, I've never put anything up my butt before, and it like you put it up in there, and then you just like, and it's gone.
It dissolves.
It's just
yeah.
gone.
It's your butthole's very hot.
Well, in your butthole, just like like I said, it's just a vacuum. Like it just takes it up there so quick, and that's what happened. Like I put it in there and it was gone, and
you
then
were
like
not
you know
backed up
a
for
minute
this
later, and I
yeah.
was like, oh, I gotta get on the toilet right now, and everything came out of me. So
Yeah,
you know.
that.
I put
whenever
things.
got
Hey,
my-
Gavin, I put things up my butt before. Okay, this ain't my first time.
This
Yeah,
is
my
your
first
first rodeo. No, I was backed up after opioids for like I was backed up for like 2 days, not like a week, but it was just a couple days where I was like, I for my pain I had like
your
a day's
teeth.
worth, yeah, for my wisdom teeth.
I didn't take any of mine.
I had it for like a day, and I was like, yeah, I think I got a good gist of how bad this is gonna be. So I'm like, I'll just suffer. I'm okay.
Yeah,
with it.
doc. I don't think I'm gonna need these anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, and I had a fucking dry socket. You think wisdom teeth pain is bad? Try a dry socket. Man.
I was so paranoid of dry socket once
Dude,
you told me.
it is the
I was like,
absolute
holy fuck.
worst
I'm
thing.
like, never. I'm like, I have to treat this with everything.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna say too much because I know you'll faint on me.
Yeah.
But it's
down to the
straight
bone.
to the bone.
Yeah.
It is just like breathing cold air onto your bone, which is a pain you've never even thought existed until it happens. And
Well, I thought it was bad
oh
because
my
I would
God.
breathe in and sometimes it would hurt, but it was just because I had an open wound on my but
right.
It wasn't dry.
Now imagine if that wound was a
What-
bone.
Bang. So moving on to Thanksgiving. Speaking
Oh, I
of,
have one more update.
oh, sorry.
Sorry, I know I'm going on long, but these are fun to talk about. These are turning into more fun than I thought they would be. So,
It's because I'm making them fun. Otherwise, it wouldn't be.
you know what? You're doing your best, man. I went to a concert on Friday that I wanted you and Sean to go to. Sean ended up having to work, and then you had your band concert, so you couldn't
Oh, yeah.
go. And it was great. I saw a band I'm going to talk about in my What You Listening To, Foreign Hands. They were the opener. Super fucking good. Really good. Like I said, I'll talk more about them later. See You Space Cowboy, who is probably my favorite hardcore band of all time. They were great. They played a lot of older songs that they didn't play on their last tour, which was awesome. I still like the newer album better, but it was really cool to hear their older songs, and they're always amazing. And then Counterparts was the headliner. Also really good band, very good live. I had watched like concerts of theirs on YouTube like a couple weeks prior, and I was like, oh wow, their lead singer, their frontman is like really funny. Like he's kind of like self-deprecating about the band, and like he'll just say like stupid shit about the crowd, like kind of make fun of them, like not like too harshly, but like enough that it's like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I went into it expecting that.
And he picked on you.
And he picked on me. No, it just got like, he just kept saying, and I got the feeling that this is a shtick he does at every show, but he's like, wow, he's like, man, I did not expect this show to be that good. He's like, whenever the pre-sale happened, yada, yada, I did not expect St. Louis to be this good of a show. But he said that like after every single song. And I was like, dude, say something new. Like I was like, all right. The first time I was like, oh, that's nice. And I'm like, he probably says that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he actually says it a lot in one show.
Yeah.
So that was annoying. One thing funny he did say is that right before they played a heavy song, and I think I heard him right when he said this, but he was like, you guys better go fucking hard for this song. Like, or what did he say? He's like, fuck. He's like, you guys better go hard. This is for my fucking dead cat. And then he started, like, it was just funny the way he said it. Because, like, that's a hardcore thing to do is to be like, you guys go fucking crazy for this song. It's our last song. Or, like, this is for blah, 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 blah. But then it was just funny. So they were very good, but I was like, okay, now I kind of don't like this guy. He's kind of annoying. But when I left the concert.
Where was the concert at?
Red Flag.
Okay.
On Locust. In beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. So I always park on Olive, which is like the street parallel to Locust, because there's like never any parking on Locust, but Olive's literally like a short block away. The meters
Olive's short block away
from Locust.
Oh, I know.
What does that mean?
It's only a block away.
It is. So they have like street parking. The meters don't run after a certain time. So I always park there because it's like super easy, and I don't know why nobody does. It's a busy street. And I remembered when I parked that there was a person parked in front of me. And when I came back, there was not somebody parked in front of me. But the weird thing is that there was a guy, I guess, walking behind me by himself, I thought. And so I walk up to my car, and I'm about to get into my car, and this guy like stops right after my car, and then like kind of like does a double take, like, looking side to side.
Oh no.
And then he walks back behind me. And so I'm like, that was kind of weird that he did that. But like, he didn't look at me at any point. Right. I was just like, okay, whatever. I get in my car. I'm sitting there doing whatever. And I see him walk up again, like stops at the curb, starts looking down at something, and then kind of looking around again for like a decent while. And then he walks back, and then he gets into the car behind me, which I thought was kind of weird. And then I was like, that was weird. And I was like, there was a car parked there. And then I see that there was like definitely shattered window glass. That's what he's looking at. And I was like, oh fuck, he probably got his car stolen. And it was me and his car were the only cars on this long stretch of Olive. And I was like, fuck, I'm like, they probably were going to do my car, and then they, saw something better in his or something and took his. Because I was like, that's
was a
fucking
Kia.
scary. It's a Hyundai, which is
Oh,
another
yeah.
one that
Yeah.
those Kia
Yep.
boys take. Which is the other thing I was thinking. I was like, damn. I'm like, we keep talking about how we want to get a club for my car, but we haven't yet. And I was like, I don't know why they decided to take his and not mine. And I don't know if they took his car because I was surprised that he didn't come up to me at any point and be like,
Yeah. Hey.
hey, did you see a car here? Like, when did you get here? Yada, yada.
Right.
So maybe his car wasn't stolen, but that definitely seemed like what was going on.
Right.
So that was my other life update. That completes my life updates 50 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
That was fun. Thanksgiving, Gavin, like you were trying to segue into earlier.
Like Thanksgiving.
The two things we're gonna get to today are both stolen from the Best Show, not on purpose, but I saw that the Best Show tweeted out that on probably the episode they're doing right now, or maybe have already wrapped up by probably just wrapped up. They're gonna be talking about the best and worst Thanksgiving foods, and they're probably gonna rank it. We're just gonna talk about it because it's Thanksgiving. Let's get into the goddamn spirit.
Fuck yeah.
Gavin, what are you doing? First of all, what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Going over to my aunt's apartment
Nice.
What
With
are
the
you-
whole family.
with with like the 6 of us.
Nice.
It's me, my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister, my aunt, my her boyfriend, and my grandma.
Nice.
8 people. I'm serious when I say it, like, I'm really fortunate I only have like that small of a family because I only have to go to one Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, in a big family, you don't have to go to multiple Thanksgivings unless there's family members who don't like each other.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like, I come from a big extended family.
Yeah.
My mom's side.
Oh yeah.
She has four brothers and sisters. She has 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and they all have kids. And so there's like, I think probably at least 40 people in total now with grandkids coming into the picture. So that's always been a big Thanksgiving or a big Christmas and stuff like that. Which I like. I love that. I love having a big family.
Yeah.
Like, but I know, like, it's just what you're used to.
Right.
But what are your favorite Thanksgiving dishes? First of all, let's actually, you know what? Don't answer that.
Okay.
I'll tell you mine. No. Let's just like go down the list,
You
and
have
you
a
can tell
list?
me your opinion on them.
Yeah.
I got one up here.
Okay.
I've been practicing them.
Yeah. Reciting in the mirror.
I think it's become a controversial thing, but what do you think about turkey?
I like turkey.
You like it? You do
Yeah.
like okay, because
Yeah,
some
if it's
people are like,
dry.
fuck turkey.
If it's dry, it's not good.
That's the
I've
thing,
had
man.
dry
It's
turkey
like
before,
right.
and it's like cardboard.
It's
Pretty
easy
bad.
to fuck up turkey.
Very
It's
easy.
easy
yeah.
to fuck it up.
But whenever it's done right and it's like very like tender and really good.
Bellissimo.
Yeah, I like it. What do you think about stuffing?
I go back and forth with stuffing.
I will say that too.
I
Right.
like some years I'll be like, yeah, I want stuffing, and then some
Mm.
years I'll get some, and then I'm like, I don't want any more of
Yeah.
this. It's not
I
that
get a
it's
little
like
bit
gross,
now.
but
I used to get a ton. Like I would be whenever our small family would just do like my immediate family
Uh-huh.
would do it. It was like my mom would make really good stuffing, and I was like, I'm gonna eat all of this stuffing. And
would
then-
she
but
make it from?
It was like a bag.
scratch?
No, it was like a bag.
See, that's the one thing I will say. That bag stuffing. Oh, hopefully we're not getting audio issues. Sorry if it cuts out. The one thing I will say that I really like is that like stovetop stuffing.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's
like
that
that's
is really good.
always
Yeah.
good for whatever
that
reason.
that hasn't missed, but maybe that's what it was last year, and I didn't really enjoy it. But
Right.
what do you think about green bean casserole?
Brain. So, do we make green bean casserole?
My grandma makes a green bean casserole. It's
I
really
think
good.
we do. Oh yeah, we do. Because there's like 2 different green bean casseroles.
And if it's not green bean, then it's like corn casserole, and it's still really
yeah, we call it choupé corn. I think that's what it's
good. Okay.
what we call it.
Yeah.
But then there also is green bean casserole.
Which does not have a special name because it's green bean casserole.
Right, it's just straight up what it is. I like it. I don't really get it that often. Like it's there, but I don't.
Oh yeah.
For some reason, I
You're
don't.
like, I just don't get it.
I just don't get Doc. I don't know. I just don't usually. It's not something that it doesn't have priority on my plate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll
Because
be
that's
like
the
one of
thing
last
is
things I'll
like
pick
you
up.
might like some of these, but it's like,
I'll tell you what.
I'll get more than one plate, but that first plate, that's the plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I will say this is one thing I make a lot of room for on my plate
Okay.
It's cranberry sauce.
Well, what do you think? You like green bean casserole, you're saying?
Yeah, I like cranberry casserole.
Okay, cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce.
Now,
I will eat entire cans of that. I have
Okay.
I have been known to, and I have in the past eaten entire bean entire bean casseroles, but entire cranberry cans, like Ocean Spray cranberry from the can.
Okay, now before you got
Now, if there's chunks of cranberry in it, absolutely not.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask. Before you say another goddamn word out of your little mouth,
Socket, my dry socket.
there's obviously homemade cranberry
Yeah.
sauce. Disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay, good. We
Yeah.
agree on that. Now, there's two different kinds of canned cranberry sauces. There is, and don't answer it until I
Oh
get,
yeah.
There is a one that's like a sloppy Jello with pieces of it in it, and then there's the one that's a form to the can.
Yeah, I like the form of the can.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
God.
the form of the can one is so good.
We might
like-
have had to stop this show altogether.
I take entire halves of that can with me, and I just slurp it up. It's so good.
It is really
I
good.
have no. I have. It's. I always get weird looks when I say I like cranberry sauce, but I had to explain it's like the Ocean Spray, like a cohesive
Right.
piece of cranberry.
But I think we're in the minority on that.
I
Like,
know,
I
I
think
know.
we need to
People
like
always-
speak out about it.
it's so sweet. It's so good.
But it's also tart. It's nice and
Yeah,
sour.
yeah.
Like it cuts through everything else.
It's really nice.
But it's like it's only that log. I've
Yeah.
had homemade. I've had the other stuff. Garbage compared to that.
The
Sweet
Ocean Spray.
log.
The log of, and I think my mom would buy 3 or 4 cans because me and my brother and my sister would eat all
That's
of
great.
it. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm glad
And
you said that.
That was the
so.
same thing whenever I talked to Sean about candy corn. Like whenever he was on the show, I was like, oh, we usually eat candy corn. And he gave me a funny look, and he's like, no, I do not like candy corn like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I know mom and dad do. So they
Right.
bought, and I told them about that, and they immediately bought like a bag of candy corn next time I saw them.
Nice.
So, but yeah, and mashed potatoes. My mom makes a mashed potato casserole.
Okay.
Or potato casserole, and it's like cheesy on top, and
Mm.
it's like her signature dish.
But it's
really
not
good
mashed
thing.
potatoes.
It's not mashed potatoes. It's like hash brown.
Right.
It's like a hash
yeah,
brown,
I know
like
what you're talking about.
with cheese on top, and it's really good. I
So
would
you-
not doubt that you've had it before because my
Yeah,
mom made it for like
for sure.
everything.
So do you? So you don't normally have mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving?
No, we usually have that, but
Oh,
if we do have mashed potatoes, that will be that goes under the turkey. I'm not ranking it, but I'm saying like it would be mashed potato then turkey on top.
Oh.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
one,
I see.
one,
I see what you're
one,
saying.
one fork full,
Okay.
one scorp.
That's because if I am ranking it, which I won't, mashed potatoes is like above all else the best
I love
thing in
mashed
my
potatoes.
opinion.
But
And-
like, if you're making homemade potatoes, that's good. Those
Right.
are probably gonna
Fuck
be fine.
stovetop
But
mashed
I'm saying,
potatoes.
Bob Evans microwave mashed potatoes, those are really good too.
Yeah, that is true. I've
eaten entire things of that. By
I
myself.
haven't been open about it, but I think Bob Evans is a shithole of a restaurant.
It's not a very good restaurant, but
Such a
they
dumb
have
restaurant.
they have really good frozen foods.
Yeah, I think I have had those before, and they're
Like,
good.
or not even
but
frozen, but refrigerated,
Right.
like mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. Both of those are
okay.
really good. I
you
mean,
try them.
yeah, we'll do.
We'll do a taste test.
I was gonna say we should have done it this week.
Christmas,
We should
let
have
us
we
spit
should have talked
everywhere.
about this before.
I know. I didn't. I was
So that we
trying to
could've-
find a taste test
Yeah.
for today, but I was just like,
Yeah,
ran out
we
of time.
should have gotten like all our favorite things and like done like a
That'd be
Thanksgiving
fun.
feast. Well,
Maybe
we'll
for
set that up.
Christmas or
Yeah,
something
for
we
Christmas
can
we can
do
do that. Yeah.
We can do or next year.
What do you usually do for? Did you guys have like a normal like Christmas tradition? We usually have ham. Some people have like
Yeah,
other
it
things.
kind of gets
like
tossed up.
Christmas
It's not like
ham.
a set in
Yeah.
stone thing.
we've had Mexican
I-
before
Oh, that's fun.
on Christmas.
See, my thing is like, for some reason in my head, I'm like, Thanksgiving is turkey, mashed potatoes, all that stuff. It
Yeah.
can't be anything weird.
yeah.
People are like, "Oh, we're having steak," and I'm like, "Fuck you, you're weird." You probably believe in
Turducken.
you probably believe in the Pilgrims.
Turducken.
Thanksgiving for me has to be like the standards. Christmas, whatever. Because what normally happens, but then the goddamn China virus fucked it all up.
Right. Yeah.
I don't even talk like that. I got to get ready for my.
Yeah. You
That
gotta,
side
yeah,
of the
yeah,
family,
You
if
got to
you
get
know what I
ready.
mean.
You got ready to be speaking in tongues.
I gotta start talking. I gotta start saying things I wouldn't normally say.
Right.
But we would normally do it is that growing up, it would be my mom's side of the family Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, it would just be the immediate family at home opening presents in the morning. And then usually that evening, would be my dad's side. Now that changed like a long time ago to where like we didn't do that. We'd maybe do like a week later or something. But then when COVID happened, it's kind of gotten mixed around where like we finally did. We didn't do something in 2020 with my mom's side, but we finally did last year. We like rented out this
I don't think
place.
we did Thanksgiving in 2020.
Oh really?
Or
we
if we did, it was
just like
very-
very small.
Or if we did, it was very like
Right.
quick. Like it was. I think it was literally like an hour.
Right. So now we'll do it where I think this year it's going to be not Christmas Eve, but the 23rd. We're going to have
So
Christmas.
Festivus.
Yeah, Festivus. We're going to have Christmas on my mom's side at that same place again, which will be great. Last year was the day after Christmas, which was kind of weird. But then usually now Christmas Day, that night, my immediate family will have dinner. And I think we've had turkey and ham and like it's just whatever. I think one year we had turkey and ham.
Yeah.
My parents made a little bit more money that year. Christmas was a lot better that year.
They had a Christmas bonus.
Christmas has been quite different since. But thanks to my doc. Yeah, it's just being weird again. I think it'll be fine. Last time it was fine. But back to Thanksgiving. I think I talked about it last year. I'm going to talk about it again. I stand by it. My grandma's mashed potato recipe, which she probably got from the back of a cream cheese container.
Yeah.
Is just like is the best thing in the world. Like
Yeah.
it is just like so good. And like my mom has made it, my aunts have made it. It's always
You want to know why?
It's always good when they make it, but like for some reason when my grandma makes it, it's just like it's perfect when she makes it.
You want to know why it's
Why?
a little bit different than it would be nowadays? Is because
The China virus?
No, because Michelle Obama did
That.
it. Yeah, she created the lunches and it made them not fat kids anymore.
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Those whole grain hot dogs.
Yeah.
Those skinless hot dogs.
those whole grain chicken burgers.
You know what?
She only let us get one serving of fries and not 4.
You know, Michelle Obama is the reason we can't say Merry Christmas anymore.
Michelle Obama's the reason why we don't sell candy bars in school anymore.
Michelle Obama is the reason why they don't sell those horse pills that make your dick hard at the gas stations.
No, they still
and at the
sell
lunchroom.
No, they definitely stopped that.
I used to go out to my favorite lunch lady, Miss Nelson, and I'd be like, and she always had a couple Blue Chews on her. I'm like, can I buy one, please?
Can I get a couple
really
Rhino
need it.
pills?
Can I get a couple Rhino balls? I got something going on later I need them for. And she always had them, but Michelle Obama took them all away. Gosh. So what else? Rolls. I mean, come on. Do you guys not have rolls?
No, we have rolls. I'm just trying to think. I think my grandma puts them in the oven too long, or not enough sometimes. Because the rolls we have are like very particular. Like they're very much like if you leave them in the oven too long, they're bad. If you don't put them in enough, they're bad. So it's like you have to put them in for like 6.25 minutes.
Right. We've been, I don't know. It's always been a toss up with our rolls. Like I always eat the rolls, but we've had some bad rolls.
Yeah,
my
we've had some
family
really
thinks
bad
things
rolls.
before.
Like they're hard or they're soft or like they're really soft or they're just not well done.
And they'll buy weird ones because I don't know.
They just don't. They taste salty almost.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I think we've been sometimes getting those just the King Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah,
which
the
are
King's Hawaiian rolls
always
are
good.
like without fail are just awesome.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
What we do is we'll buy them after Thanksgiving, and then make like turkey sandwiches. The
Oh,
next
that's
day.
smart.
Yeah.
That's a smart man's move.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other. Let's get some of the gross things out of the way. What gross things do you guys have at Thanksgiving? Is there anything that's like?
Oh wait,
who eats
this
that?
is the annoying. This
Oh,
is
here
one
we
of
go.
my more annoying.
This is what I
things.
need.
For some fucking reason, it has puzzled me since the beginning of time.
This is gonna make a rift in the family.
Yeah, and no, trust me, it was a big deal for me to say this.
Okay.
We have like blackberry with seeds pie.
Oh, you've talked about this, I think.
And it frustrates the shit out of me because it's
Right.
like, who orders this? Who
Right.
orders blackberry pie?
Oh, and that's the thing.
And
is
nobody touches it.
Nobody makes it. You guys order it, right?
Yeah, we have to order it.
Yeah, I
And it's
remember
also
that.
like, and it's not good. Nobody eats it. Literally, like it was like a couple years ago. I was like, if you order this pie, I will literally not eat any other pie.
Uh-huh.
Like I was like, please order peach cobbler or
Right.
apple pie. Those
Right.
are literally the two classic pies that you could order for Thanksgiving, and you order fucking blackberry and like raspberry pie
Right.
with the seeds. No like synthetic like gel or anything like that. It's with the fucking berries in there.
It was a nightmare.
And it was disgusting for years. It was years. Or like
Do they
cherries
still
with
get it?
pits. Like cherries with pits.
in the pie.
Yes.
What the fuck?
It's
That's
bizarre.
awesome. That's hardcore.
It sucked.
Do they still get the weird
No.
pies?
No, my mom made sure to tell me this year. She's like, they're not ordering any blackberry pies.
If they do,
If
I
they-
want you to make a video on post to TikTok calling them out.
Yeah. But I remember requesting it, and then it was like, oh, but we've always done that. I'm like, yeah, but like nobody eats it.
Right.
I'm like, me, my brother,
Just
my
because
sister.
you always do it doesn't mean that you should.
Me, my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, we all don't eat it. It's
Right.
literally just you and our grandpa.
Order for themselves.
Get a fucking
Do
slice.
it for yourself.
Yeah.
Get a slice.
Yeah.
What do you? Speaking of pies, what
yeah.
do you think of pumpkin pie?
I've never had it. I've never had a whole slice of pumpkin pie. I've never tasted a pumpkin pie.
Really?
Yeah, I've mainly just because one of the reasons is because we've never made anything with the pumpkins that we would carve. We never made like pumpkin seeds. My mom
you're
would
not
make them on
supposed
occasion.
to really.
Yeah, but like that
You
some people make
can?
like pumpkin seed like stuff.
Yeah.
they like fry them or whatever.
And you can make
put them in the oven.
Make it from scratch, but it's just way better and easier to just do it in the can.
Yeah.
From the can.
Yeah, and like yeah, so the I've never had it because we've always compared our farts to smelling like pumpkins. So like I already have like that.
Fuck.
And
Okay.
I don't know if we have a fart that smells funny. We're like, oh, it smells like a pumpkin. Like, and it does. It genuinely smells like a pumpkin. So like yeah.
Weird family.
yeah, I know. But like I've never thought of like, oh yeah, I want to sit down and eat some pumpkin pie.
Well, it doesn't taste. It doesn't really taste like what pumpkins smell like.
No, I know. It's probably like a little bit like it's
like
pumpkin
sweet-
spice. It's a pumpkin
Yeah,
spice.
sweet, gooey, cinnamony, creamy
I mean, okay.
gloop,
Yeah, with a little bit of whipped cream on the top or
which
more.
is
And I've never
'cause
had it again. I've never had it.
maybe I'll make you one day, or I'll go get you one or something.
Go give me a slice and I'll try it on the show and I'll let you know.
I should have done that this week.
I
I think
also-
I remember you telling me
I
that last
also
year too.
never had a McRib, and this weekend
I haven't
I
either.
tried to go get a McRib, and they were already out. They already moved on.
Oh, because they're saying they're done after
Yeah,
this one. I heard.
yeah, I never had it before.
I haven't either. Every time I have gone to
My
McDonald's,
mom used to get McRibs.
Ugh. I've gone to McDonald's with it in mind that I'm gonna get one, and then
Yeah.
I just get up to the drive-thru and I'm like, I'm not gonna order one.
Yeah. Well, it's just because I remember having like those ribs. I remember having those like rib sandwiches at school. So I used to imagine that that's what a McRib would taste like. To be honest with you, I mean seriously though,
I never.
how
I
different
never
could
ate
it
one of
possibly
those.
be?
I never ate any of those because it sounded so gross to me.
I will say schools never messed up sloppy joes.
I never really. People always are like the pinnacle school lunch thing they always talk about is sloppy joes.
They
I don't
never mess
ever.
that up.
I never remember having sloppy joes at school lunch.
Oh yeah, no, they had that.
I would have eaten it because I like sloppy slows, but
I bought every day.
I never remember them having it. Maybe I was always just like, I'm gonna get something else
Yeah.
because I like it, but it's like I'd rather get cardboard pizza than this.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to eat square pizza.
What do you think of gravy?
I'm not a really big gravy person.
I'm not either. I'll put. You know what I will do?
I'll put gravy on my turkey.
I'll put gravy on your turkey, baby boy. I will put gravy. Sorry. I will put gravy on my stuffing actually,
Really?
which they. So
Which
there's
they
a
say you're
different-
not supposed to do.
My
experts
doctor
have
said stop doing that.
experts have weighed in and they said no.
Doc said to stop doing that,
Yeah.
but I just can't listen. Do you know? Speaking of dressing, stuffing, there is a difference. There's stuffing and there's dressing. Do you know what the difference is?
No.
So as far as I know, the stuffing is what is cooked in the turkey's hole, in the turkey's chest cavity.
Okay.
And the dressing, which is what you've probably had,
Careful.
unless you've had it, I'll try. unless I'm not right, is baked separately from the turkey.
Mm-hmm.
That's dressing. I think. Maybe it's the other way around, but then whenever I thought about that, I was like, why would it be called stuffing if it was why would
Well,
dressy be the
I
stuff
like the
that's
stuffing
stuffed in?
that you cook away from it. If it's
I do
dressy.
too.
Yeah.
Because I think the stuff that's shoved into the turkey's carcass, because it's literally just shoved into it. Like,
I don't
imagine
know
shoving bread into
how-
our chest.
Yeah, how to basic ruined turkeys and chickens for me, because the way that he would stick his hand in these chickens and like just like literally fuck them with his hand.
That actually got me off.
It was traumatizing to watch because it was like
Interesting.
this like carcass that was just like flopping around.
I don't know if I ever thought about it like that.
It was just like, wow, I would never want to eat anything out of that.
Well, you're not supposed to want to eat that. I used to watch. Never mind. I was gonna say something. I was gonna make a very bad joke. Not a racy one.
Yeah.
It'd be offensive to people.
It was a
So
necro. That's what I thought you were going with.
no,
Oh, okay.
no.
Okay.
I don't want to allude to it.
Okay. Good.
So
yeah,
great.
No, I wouldn't want you to.
Gravy. We're done.
Right.
Gravy's
Yeah.
gone.
No, gravy. Yeah.
Speaking. So we were talking about. I asked you what's something gross or just weird. I gotta tiptoe a little bit lightly.
Carrot, like any
Here.
carrot stuff. It was like a carrot casserole.
Ugh, is that a thing?
I don't know. I'm just thinking like carrot. You know, like the dessert. You know, they have like carrots and like marshmallows or something like that. Marshmallow with. I don't know, man.
You're talking about yams,
Yes.
sweet potato casserole.
Yeah.
Nobody in my family has ever made that. I
But
would love to have
My
it.
mom makes it. And it's supposed to be good, but I do not like sweet potatoes.
Oh, I don't love them. I think I would like that though. I want to try that sometime. Can your mom make some for me?
I wish that like making things wasn't like you had to make a whole like serving, like a whole like 5
You don't
families.
have to.
Yeah, but like you'd have to divide all of it by like 5.
Right. So that's the thing is you have to do math,
Right, and I
which
don't
I
want to
know
do
can
that.
be hard for you.
Just have the computer do it.
God, I'm debating if I should even bring this up.
Oh God.
These people will never listen, so it'll never get back to them. So I'm sure it's fine. But there's somebody in my family
Somebody.
who makes a asparagus casserole,
A what?
which I like asparagus, right?
Really?
I do. I like it roasted, whatever. But imagine taking that and putting it into a casserole. And now I know what you're thinking. The asparagus you buy at the store, you buy it fresh, cook it up. That's the good stuff. No, Gavin, this is canned asparagus, which you probably didn't even know existed. It's like canned asparagus and like cream of mushroom stuff. Like it's what is in a green bean casserole, but it's asparagus. And I might be wrong, but I think there's also like eggs, like hard-boiled eggs in it. I think, because what I'm picturing has what did that? Oh, never mind. I started typing in asparagus, and it said and I thought it said asparagus syndrome. I was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, I just spelled asparagus wrong.
Oh my God!
Does it have eggs in it, or am I imagining that? No, I don't think it does have eggs in it. Why did I think it have eggs in it? Let me type with eggs. Yeah, you can put like hard-boiled eggs. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? What do you want to eat this? Do you like asparagus? Don't cry. Do you like asparagus?
I'll eat it, but like if it literally has to be like one of the only things that's offered.
But imagine that. With eggs? That's fucked up.
I'll tell you what, speaking of family recipes that probably came from the back of a box, it was that.
Oh, for sure. Look, you can see the little eggy boy sticking out there.
Mm.
So there is someone who brings that every year, and like the huckleberry blackberry pie, nobody touches it besides that one person.
Rhubarb pie. I think that was one time we
Ooh,
had that.
I
never
like
had
rhubarb.
that
I
before.
made that once. It's very good. Strawberry
Really?
rhubarb,
Really?
very good. I
Leafy.
really like it. It tastes like celery.
Tastes like lettuce.
Tastes like
Oh, speaking of lettuce,
Farts.
I saw this. I think this is fake. I hope.
okay.
Someone said this is what an actual War on Christmas looks like, and it's a Caesar salad candy cane.
Oh man, If that's real, I'm gonna look into that. Because if that's real, then it's.
No, I'll
gonna-
look it up right now.
We're gonna order it. But so that's one of the gross things that
Oh my god.
is always at Thanksgiving every year that nobody touches. And no, if that person somehow hears this, which I doubt would happen, I'm sorry, but it's gross. And I think
It's
they
real.
know that everybody is it? Where can you order it? I'm gonna order it right now.
I'll send you a link.
Is it on Amazon?
It's no, it's on the Archie McPhee. We make weird. So I think we need to check out this.
Is it like a obvious plant type thing where it's like a fake thing though? But it's
I
just
don't
the
know.
packages?
No.
Okay.
No, it's real.
Send it to me and we'll look into it.
It looks real, and someone has puts their hand on it.
Puts their punsy in it.
And it wasn't the person who like works for it. It was someone who like found it somewhere.
So they don't work for Archie Bunker?
As far as I know.
Yeah, I feel like there's more. There's like another gross thing that's always at Thanksgiving, but I can't remember it. Anything else you can think of? Gross or otherwise to rank?
I think genuinely it's just a pie thing.
Yeah. Oh, so what is your favorite dessert then? Because you don't like, if you've never had pumpkin pie and you don't like those other pies, what is your like go-to Thanksgiving dessert?
No, apple pie or peach
Okay.
cobbler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still pretty normal.
Yeah, with ice cream.
It's just weird to me you've never had pumpkin pie. That really does surprise me.
I mean, do you really take me for a pumpkin pie kind of guy? I mean, look at me.
Well, most people wouldn't know that you really like cranberry sauce and also baked beans. That's something you gotta get to know Gavin before you get down to that, if you know what I'm saying. Well, my favorite desserts, thank you for asking.
Yeah, what are some of yours?
I wouldn't say
They also have brisket flavored candy canes.
send me links.
I'm
I'm buying everything as long as it's not too much money. So
This one's $7
I don't-
for a
I don't-
pack of 6.
I wouldn't say I love pumpkin pie. I do like it, and I do have a slice every year. I have to. I just have to, medically. My brother, Hunter, who is a cooksman like myself, but way better. He's more of a baker than I am. I'm a baker the other way.
No wonder you were so excited this past week for whenever they passed it.
We'll get to that later.
I'll see you later.
So while I'm baking, he's also baking. He likes to bake what's known as a French silk pie. Why are you smirking so hard over there?
God, dude, I'm reading the description of this. Oh God,
I
it's
can't wait.
horrible.
Read it to me after I tell my desserts.
Okay.
So it's like a chocolate pie, which sounds gross because it makes you think of poop.
Mm-hmm. Makes me think
But
of poop.
It's a chocolate pie at the base,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's this big mound of cream, like homemade thick whipped cream, and it's just like this thick ass pie. And it is so fucking good. And he makes the crust from scratch.
Makes it crusty.
Makes the crust from scratch.
Have 'em
It's
bring
so good. It always
Have 'em
goes
bring
away.
it.
Huh?
Have him bring it.
2?
Thanksgiving.
He is.
Okay.
So I brought it up. He also makes pecan pie. Not a big fan.
I don't know what it is with people and fucking nuts. And you could quote me on that. Keep that one in there.
That's going to be part of the clip.
I don't know what it is. Nuts. The only tolerable nuts that I can eat are peanuts.
Penis?
Peanuts.
Oh, sorry.
Peanuts.
You still want me to cut that out from earlier?
No, peanuts
I
are
won't
the
bring it
only nuts I'll eat.
Not cashews?
No.
Wow.
Pistachios I will eat.
Okay.
But not pistachio flavored things. Not pistachio flavored ice cream.
I
You fucking weirdos.
don't think I've ever had it. Pistachio.
Me neither. But because it's
I
like
have
I would
actually.
never eat a nut flavored ice cream ever.
Because
ever.
you're not gay.
Yeah. No,
I don't
but
want
I don't know
anything
what it
with
is with
nuts
nuts.
in it.
I mean, I really don't know what it is with nuts. It just they taste like earth. They don't.
Sure.
There's nothing special, and there's nothing special about them. There's nothing that like it's like, oh boy, I can't wait to sink my teeth. Sink your teeth into pecans. These are hard.
Now,
They're hard and they're crunchy.
now you better stop before I get angry. I'm a nut guy. I like my
I
nuts.
do not like nuts. Like
I'm
walnuts.
not gonna lie.
No.
See,
Pecans. No.
it's weird because I like nuts. I like all different types of nuts, big ones, round ones.
Small ones.
Lance Armstrong had a misshapen one.
Hitler also notoriously only had one nut.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What happened to his?
It popped. No.
You
No, I
said
have no-
that so nonchalantly. It popped.
I have no idea what happened to it. He was born with it.
He blew it off.
He was born with it, like Maybelline.
You know, he blew off his own nut.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah.
I like nuts, but I don't. Pecan pie's fine, but I don't like nuts in other things.
The annoying thing to me about nuts is that they
Oh, here we go.
They taint the whole fucking thing. If you put one nut into a bag full of things, it's going to taste like nuts.
What do you
All
mean?
of it.
What is a bag full of things?
If you were to put
Lincoln
like
Logs?
like trail mix, if you were going to put a nut if you're going to put a nut into trail mix,
Nut Gingrich?
yes. If you're going to put nuts into like trail mix or something like that, all you would taste is nuts.
What kind of trail mix are you having that doesn't have nuts in it, though?
Doesn't have nuts? The ones that I don't want. The ones I want.
So you're just eating candy and raisins.
Yes. And that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Everything tastes like nuts. I
Trail
can't.
mix should not be healthy.
It shouldn't be.
It really isn't. Trail mix is not healthy for you.
No, it's not. But it's one of those things where that's the thing that pisses me off about nuts is that not only are they hard and crunchy, which is okay, fine, but it's like they taint everything that they touch. They taint every flavor. It's like, oh,
You're not wrong.
Or it's like, oh, I want this one M&M that's left in my trail mix, and it tastes like
Tastes like
fucking
nuts.
walnuts
Yeah.
or almonds or something
right.
like that.
I
Like,
will
I
say-
can't have an almond joy. I don't even like coconut. I'm not even a coconut kind of guy.
I'm not a huge coconut guy either. I don't like fresh coconut. I like it in candies and cookies and chocolate.
I used to like these one cookies that were coconut cream cookies.
Oh yeah, those are
And
good.
well, I used to have them at my grandparents' house.
Same.
Yeah, and I thought they were really good. And then
The sandwich ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
with, like, they
wow,
were,
that's an
like-
old person
Yeah,
thing.
it really is. And
Dude, it took me like years to figure out what those even
yeah,
were.
me too. And then I found out what they were, and I'm like, I was eating coconut that entire time. And that was why my grandma and grandpa would get me like coconut flavored eggs, like chocolate eggs.
Oh, okay.
Like chocolate eggs, and like they would get them from like Crown Candy, and they would get like
okay.
coconut eggs.
Okay.
And that explains why they would get those now, because we would eat the hell out of all of those coconut cream cookies. We would eat the entire.
Well, you didn't like the
pack.
chocolates.
No, I hated the chocolates.
Right.
I-
You're like,
'cause
what
I-
the fuck is
yeah,
this about?
Yeah, and I didn't know they were coconut cream. I thought it was just like basically like a Oreo.
Right. Well, and I do think it was kind of mean of you to go up to your grandparents and be like, "What the fuck is this?" Like
Yeah.
you were 8 years old. Like you should
Yeah, no, I
talk
shouldn't.
to your
Yeah, yeah.
grandparents that way.
So the brisket candy canes it's a set of 6 red and pink candy canes. They're 5 1/4 inch tall with brisket flavor. Santa has a smoker in the sleigh. Low quality beef, high quality taste. And it's real. You can buy it. Cooked
Send
low
me
and
these
slow.
links.
Cooked low and slow. Brisket
Candy
candy canes are the perfect treat for large family gatherings. Brisket isn't the best cut of meat, but prepared correctly, it's the most delicious dish on your holiday table. These brisket candy canes have the flavor of brisket with none of the connective tissue. You'll get 6 candy canes, enough to share with the whole kids' table. Tastes like brisket, looks like Christmas.
I just made a face whenever you said that brisket is the best dish at a holiday dinner, and I was like, nobody has that. And I'm like, wait, we grew up in the Midwest. That's like a Jewish thing. Of course, I would make a disgusted face by that because that's not something we're used to. But really, that's probably pretty good. But I think that's like a common thing in Hanukkah meals and stuff like that.
Oh my God, they have so much stuff.
I wanted to get back to nuts.
They have hot dog candy canes.
You got to send me these
I'm
links,
just gonna
man.
send you this. It's awful, dude. Oh my God.
ArchieBunker.com, you said?
Oh my God.
I want to get back to
Sour cream and onion candy canes.
Is
No,
it
I
all
have-
gross candy
Yes,
canes?
yes, they have a lot of other stuff, but this is their bad candy category.
Take me to the bad candy category,
yeah,
please.
yeah, no problem. Sorry. So getting back to nuts.
Back to nuts.
Back to the fucking nuts.
I like trail mix, but I will say I don't like peanuts that much. But the only time I will eat them is in trail mix. I don't like peanuts though.
I like peanuts. I like peanuts a lot. Like,
Interesting.
man,
I'm
I
not
don't-
a huge fan.
I
like
don't know
every
why,
other
but
nut more than peanuts, like altogether. Any nut.
really,
Like even I don't even really
You
like.
don't look like a nut guy to me.
Well, I don't really like Brazil nuts, but I would
What the fuck
eat
are Brazil nuts?
They're weird big
this
things.
is how
and
not how antiquated I am in the nut category. I
And
have no idea what you're talking
the
about.
thing about Brazil nuts, Gavin, that is quite interesting, actually, is that people who have older white grandparents
Mm-hmm.
might know Brazil nuts by a different name that I will 100%.
Oh, I know exactly what they are.
Yeah, I will definitely not repeat it, but that is legitimately what like they used to be called. It's I'm not gonna say it, obviously, but it's the N word and nut. They would call them N word nuts. Okay, I'm just
They have it.
I'm not making that up. I've heard that from multiple people who are like, yeah, that's just what they were called. And I was like, okay, but do you still have to call them that?
That's called like N-word toes. There's another one.
That's the one. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I meant to say. Not N-word
Okay.
nuts. They're called N-word toes.
Still not good.
Which is even worse.
Worse somehow.
Getting past that, I would rather eat those than a peanut. But I don't really like them either. But I don't like I don't really like nuts in things. So I don't really like pecan pie, but I like them on their own. I don't really eat pecans or walnuts plain, but I like to get around the holidays the fresh ones that you have to crack open and eat. Those are really good. I'll get pecans and especially fresh walnuts.
I mean, you know,
Besides, there's like a little
try to
chemically
change my
taste.
mind, but my palate is not. It's not associated with the
I'm
nut.
not trying to change your mind. I'm just speaking.
No,
mine.
I mean I'm open to it. You know, give me some nuts and I'll swallow them.
Okay, I will.
I'll give you some nuts and I'll swallow them.
Oh, we're gonna have a fun after this.
Stop.
Don't make me blush, Gavin. Come on. Oh, should we do this Beatles thing? We've an hour and a half.
No,
now.
we should stop.
Well, maybe let's just. Can we just go through it real quick?
Yeah. Okay. So
Let's just because it's gonna be so old by the time we finally go
Yeah.
over it.
So last week, Tim Heidecker hosted
Best show,
Best Show,
which is
and-
usually Tom
which
Sharpling's
is
show.
usually
Yeah,
Tom Sharpling, and Sharpling hosted Hours Live, which is a show Carson works for.
Yes.
And they release a top,
So-
20 worst Beatles songs,
Right.
and they ranked them.
So the whole episode, because like
they
the-
spent the whole episode
yeah,
doing this.
So the best show, like the whole point is like
They rank
we're
things.
gonna have these guests on, but like the whole point of the show is like we have a topic. Call in and tell us about your topic. Like I said today, I think their show was like I said, we're gonna be ranking the best and worst Thanksgiving foods. So it's like it's like a common theme like that. So Tim's was call in and tell me what you think. We'll figure out we'll rank the 20 worst Beatles songs.
Mhm.
And so he had John Early and Claudia O'Darty Claudia O'Darty, who is also like a huge Beatles fan. Like I would even say as big as Tim was. I still haven't listened to the full episode yet, but I popped in and listened to
You
like
saw the
half
article.
an
You saw
hour.
the title of the article. You didn't really look into it.
Right. And like she was like she knew her shit about the Beatles,
Yeah.
which is dope. But then like Fred Armisen called in because he's a big Beatles nut as well. Speaking of nuts, but yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to set that up.
So from 1 to 20, their songs in order are Maxwell's Silverhammer, One After 909, Good Day Sunshine, Obla Di Obla Da, Don't Pass Me By, Savoy Truffle, Boys, The Word, Only a Northern Song, Roll Over Beethoven, Honey Pie, Piggies, Wild Honey Pie, Dizzy Miss Lizzy, The Benefit of Mr. Kite, It's Only Love, Yellow Submarine, Don't Bother Me, Honey Don't, and Matchbox.
Now the thing I should
I don't
have
think
done.
I can come up with 20 songs, but I'll tell you some of my least favorite Beatles songs.
Now I wish I would have listened to this whole episode so I could have more of like they said this is the worst because of that. Because like when I did pop in, like one of the songs that was brought up when I was listening live was number 9. What's the number 9 song called?
One After 909.
No, Revolution.
Oh,
9.
Revolution 9? Yeah.
They brought that up, but they were like, because people were like, oh, it's a terrible song. And they're like, well, it's not really a song. It's more of they don't really consider it a song. It's more of like an interlude or something. So they're like, we're not going to put that on the list.
Mhm.
So that's why I wish I would have, I still need to listen back to it, but I wish I would have before we did this so I could have an opinion. Because I don't. I'm
I
not
guess
a big
the
Beatles
thing,
fan like
and
that.
we flashed through all these really quick
Right.
before the show so we could do this. But I guess
And I don't expect you to rank your
Yeah,
20
I'm not going to
ones.
rank 20 of them. I don't
Right.
think I can come up with anything.
Maybe top 5?
Yeah, okay, well, number 1 is Wild Honey Pie. I remember buying the literally a double CD album of White Album. At what CD Reunion at the time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what it's called now, but it might be.
it's
I
the
think it's
same
called. I
thing.
think it's called Record Reunion.
Record, yeah, you're right.
But CD Reunion, I bought it and I was like, this is $20 and it's 2, CDs. So I remember uploading it to iTunes and I'm like, I'm just gonna be playing Minecraft. No, just put it on.
Right.
And I'm like, I'll finally listen to it. So I listened to it and this song came on and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that I'd say I would say almost an entire half of White Album is not worth listening to. I like it. It's a good album to listen to, but if you were to pick out the songs like one after one, like Rocky Raccoon, not good. I don't like Rocky Raccoon. I don't like
I'm surprised that's not on this list. I think people like it though.
Yeah, there's songs that are like there's songs that are beloved. Like the continuing story of Bungalow Bill, not good.
Is that on White Album too?
Yeah. Rocky Raccoon, not good. Why Don't We Do It in the Road is kind of funny. I like that song.
I think
Because he keeps saying, why don't we do it in
Right.
the road? No one will be watching us.
Right.
Why don't we do it? And then I think there's Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey is a good song. I like that song. I don't know. I guess just off of what constitutes as like a good song, I have to like at least one aspect of this song. And not one part of these songs I like. I don't like Honey Pie. I don't like Wild Honey Pie. I don't like Rocky Raccoon. I don't like Peggy's. Yeah, I would say probably about half the album's just not good listening to.
What do you think of
the fact that they have Birthday on this song too and Helter Skelter on this album is bizarre. I have no idea how they did that.
Is the birthday one? Don't. Why did they put that on there?
And Savoy Truffle, Cry Baby Cry is not a good song either. Don't like that song. Savoy Truffle, I enjoy. I like it. I like Savoy Truffle. I like Glass Onion. I think some people said that's not a good song, but I like Glass Onion because it references other songs, and it's like Paul was the walrus or whatever. The walrus was Paul or something like that was one of the lyrics in that song. But yeah. So I agree with most of this. I agree with most of this list. I like the Benefit of Mr. Kite. I like the beginning a lot. I don't know why, but it's like that little like melody that they have at the beginning is really good.
When you played it for me, I hated it.
Yeah, I like that. Because again, it sounds like most of the songs, for example, like Good Day Sunshine. I like that song. I know Paul McCartney has made like show tuney type of songs. And that's another reason why I like show tune songs. But like that was very much like a post Beatles era song that probably Paul wrote. Is that he was like, this is something I would put on a regular album. But it is a very generic song, but it's not a bad song. It's not the worst. I would say probably some of their early stuff is pretty bad. Like Boys is not good.
Right.
I agree with that. Yellow Submarine, not good. The fact that Octopus's Garden is not on here.
I know. I was going to say
I was
that.
like, are you fucking serious?
Right.
I was like, that's a bad song.
Well, what do you think about, I don't mean to interrupt, but what do you think about Maxwell's Silverhammer being number one as the worst?
I wouldn't say that's the worst. I would say Wild Honey Pie is probably the worst Beatles song.
Right.
Like
because you're not even bringing up Maxwell's Silverhammer.
It's
so you're
not
just
a bad.
whatever
It's not a
about
bad song. It's just it's.
Would it be
interesting.
on your top 20 worst songs though? Probably.
Yeah, probably lower on the list.
Yeah,
so I would.
quite
It would.
as high.
I'm not kidding. It would literally be Wild Honey Pie, Yellow Submarine, Octopus's Garden. It's literally all these Ringo songs. I do not like Ringo's songwriting.
Well, I was gonna say is that like, I've only heard the beginning and slight part of the middle of most of these songs.
And to be honest with you, the fact that like, I don't know, I don't think it's very fair to rate cover songs as like Beatles songs.
Sure.
So like, I would say a third of this list or like a quarter of this list really
covers.
shouldn't count.
Right. So I was gonna say that I like I said, I've listened to a few of these songs like actually all the way through, but 90% of them were just from you literally playing me a part of them right before the show. And I will say that I have listened to Maxwell's Silverhammer all the way through, literally multiple times because of watching that 3-hour long Beatles documentary, which I loved. all of those songs, in my opinion, that you played part of, well, most of them were for sure worse than Maxwell's Silverhammer. So I'm very interested to listen to
It's just
why
amazing.
Tim felt like that's the worst.
Yeah, it's just amazing that like, I don't know. You can really, you really can tell on what songs they did not give a fuck about.
Oh, for sure.
Because like their mastering's bad. They cared about Maxwell's Silverhammer. They cared about that.
You watched the well, and
I mean, I'm saying they cared about it because they
right.
put master into it. Wild Honey Pie has no mastering.
Right.
It is like
And-
they just put it back in
and the
front of the
thing with
studio.
some of those, so like in the documentary, Peter Jackson really focused on like the well-known songs and like made those really important. And then songs like Maxwell's Silverhammer and Dig a Pony and stuff like that were like, he talked about them a little bit, or like not talked about it, but showed them a little bit, showed the production of them a little bit, but he made it seem like they didn't care so much about those songs. When in reality, maybe like Maxwell's Silverhammer, they thought was going to be like the fucking banger.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I think this.
Oh, wait, right, because they didn't play it on the rooftop.
Yeah, they
or they didn't get to it. At least.
there's just a certain aspect of Beatles songs where that again you can tell when they don't care, but also like there's filler. That's a thing. You know, there's filler songs, but
right.
I don't know I don't know. It's just like most of these are pretty bland songs. There's nothing special about them, but
Right.
I wouldn't say they're bad Beatles songs. Obla Di Obla Da is kind of fun. I like singing along to it. I like that because the bass in that is really fun because like boom, 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 boom. I think that's fun. I like that.
It was weird
Yeah.
to me.
Desmond has a moment in the marketplace.
But see, like I appreciate the Beatles big time, and I do like some of their music, but I still haven't really gotten to that phase where I've gotten into them, into their music.
That was
So
I will say there is that like awakening that I had where it was like not every song is that
Right.
not every song's as good as I thought.
Well,
it
and that's
was.
the thing is like, and my point right now, when I listen to I try to listen to an album, I'm just like, can't really do it. Like
Well,
it's not that it's
it's-
bad. I'm just like I don't know
again,
what's good and what's
Beatles
bad.
albums are not like how they are now. Like not like how albums are made now. In
Right.
my
Oh
opinion.
yeah, for sure.
Because albums now will go in with the point of making a sound
Mhm.
and like making songs that are like cohesive.
For sure.
They make a little bit. There's a certain unique sound to each album. Some of their later albums, they're strung out
right.
and like
sure.
they are just putting shit together. But I will say that if this is also, I guess, another reason why I don't think they're
So you're
that
saying
bad.
they're not good artists because they're drug addicts?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're
sorry
right.
to say that.
But it's like without some of these songs, they probably wouldn't have made other ones. They probably would have made the other songs into these.
Right.
So like they had to put they had this creative output to be like, okay, these are some songs that we could make and we've made them, but we
Right.
do not like them.
Right.
And
Well,
also
they
it's
were
like, we were
doing-
panned, so
Yeah, and they were doing like multiple albums at a year at
Yeah.
a time,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Most of the time,
yeah. Or
when they
put out,
stopped
like,
touring,
yeah.
at least.
well, I think it was one album a year. It was like one every 8 months,
Okay.
just about. So it'd be
Right.
like it would be technically like 2 years. It'd be like one release in August, one release in February the next year.
Okay. Because they did come out with Let It Be and
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road in the same year, though. Right?
Let me look it up.
They both came out in 1969. Because that was my big thing, is I was like, wait a minute. How did this album
Yeah,
come out?
they released their first two albums in the same year. They released Hard Day's Night and Beatles for Sale in the same year.
Mhm.
They released Rubber Soul and Help in the same year. They released Revolver in 1 year, and then let's see. Then it was 8 months later, Sgt. Pepper's. Then later that year, Magical Mystery Tour. Then an entire year in 1968, White Album. January of 1969, they released Yellow Submarine. September of 69, Abbey Road. And then May of 1970, Let It Be.
Oh, right. You were telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
So,
I got that mixed up.
and
Wow, they cranked out a lot of albums in the last year.
Yeah.
They
Well,
were
I mean,
cranking.
they
Why was
released-
that, I wonder? Different
They-
management or something?
Yeah,
or-
management. Their label was probably like, just put out some music.
Weird.
I always thought Let It Be came out before
I did too.
Abbey Road,
Mhm.
but
But you told me, one
yeah.
was recorded before the other.
Yeah.
And then there was like something.
There was like a
got
whole
fucked up.
breakup. There was literally like they
Yeah.
broke up for Abbey Road. Like they just broke up. Like they were
Right.
like, oh yeah, we're not going to do anything together. And that's another reason why
Right.
why that was showing. Why they
Mhm.
basically why it's even more intriguing that Let It Be was, recorded at all.
Yeah.
And like why that documentary is so intriguing.
It's so good. I think about it all the time. It's one of those things where it's like I want to watch it again because I don't know. I just love watching. I love the rawness of watching fucking legends
Do their
make
thing.
do their thing. And even though like they're not somebody I grew up listening to, they're not
Mhm.
somebody I listen to. It's just watching those people do that that's like so cool. Sorry, I'm not picking my nose. I just keep itching.
Another song that I do not like because on Abbey Road,
Mm.
if they could get rid of Octopus's Garden and Because on this album, I mean the second half it really isn't that good, but
Mhm.
I mean it's still better. If I could consider like I think The End, which is the second to last song on Abbey Road, that's one of the best songs they've ever made.
Okay.
The best. It's only 2 minutes long. 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. One of the best.
Huh.
I
I'll
love
have
that
to
song.
listen to it. Okay, now unless you have something else to say, we'll wrap this segment
Yeah,
up.
and I'll talk more about the Beatles in a minute because I'm going to recommend the Beatles.
Oh, nice. I was gonna ask to wrap this Beatles segment up. Again, unless there's more to say. What's your best Beatles album, and what's your worst Beatles album?
I will say it's difficult. It's difficult because I didn't really listen to some of their older stuff. I didn't listen to With the Beatles or Beatles for Sale because those are mostly covers.
Right.
But I would say one of their best. I'd say that their best album, front to back. Let me make sure, front to back.
Sorry, no more video.
Oh, okay.
Card's full. Sorry about that. We're going on long anyways.
Yeah, that's really hard. I really like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Just really
That's
good.
top.
Yeah, that's like top.
Top. Wow. Interesting.
And then worst is
I don't know why I said interesting. I don't know if it's interesting or not. White?
okay.
You were talking a lot of shit on White.
Yeah,
album.
I don't. White's okay. I mean, it's probably. I would say. Let me check.
And like you said, if you don't rank those first ones as real Beatles songs, you maybe shouldn't rank those.
Yeah, I guess Yellow Submarine's probably bottom. I do
Really?
not like this album.
Really, over what you put White over that one, even though you're talking so much shit on White album.
Yeah, because White album has Back in the USSR, Glass
Okay.
Onion, Dear Prudence, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Happiness
Mm.
is a Warm Gun, I'm So Tired, Blackbird, Birthday, Your Blues.
You like the birthday song?
I like that song
All right.
because they tried on it. I can tell they tried it. It's fun. I would like you to dance.
Yeah, I mean, I know the song.
I know I didn't mean to click it.
Well, why'd you click it?
So yeah, I don't know.
So
I
Yellow Submarine, bottom,
Yeah.
top.
Yeah, it'd
Sgt.
probably be Yellow
Pepper's.
Submarine because I do not like any song on that album. Hey Bulldog is the one saving grace that they have
Okay.
on that album. On
What's
Yellow
like a
Submarine.
bad song on that album?
Yellow Submarine.
Oh, right. Okay. Moving on. We're going to do a fast next door drama real quick. In case you don't know, next door drama. What?
Don't forget.
Thank you. Next door drama is a blog post for your neighborhood. And there is a lot of garbage on there. And I loved it so much that I wanted to turn it into a segment. So what we do every week is I pick a blog post and I take the main blog post entry and the comments and I script it out into a dramatic reading. Don't know why I looked at the camera. It's off. And we reenact it as a dramatic reading. So this week, the next door drama is titled Ding Dong Ditching. And it's self-explanatory, I think. Without further ado, I am playing the main
Theme.
person, Rachel. Gavin will be playing the I don't know what the word is. I wanted to say I don't know. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for.
Supporting character.
Yeah, supporting character. He's not a negative person. He's not the protagonist or antagonist. He's on my side. He will be playing Brandy. And then we're going to have another friend this week, like we had Rod last week. We're going to have Audrey come in and read a couple lines for us. So, without further ado, here's the theme song. Oh, can you get me a doorbell sound? You can just look it up while it's playing. Okay, you'll know when it comes in. Here's the theme song, and then we're going to get right into it. That's the outro song, Carson. Here is the intro. This week on Next Door Drama. Trespassing. I don't know what you were doing just now on my porch, but obviously I saw you. You also don't know that my all neighbors across the street has security cameras, so I'll kindly go over next door to them tomorrow morning and get a better view of you and your friend.
Eyes are everywhere these days. We see you, thieves, trespassers, vandals, etc., SMH, at the foolery.
People are so dumb. They forget cameras are everywhere. Wake up and smell the coffee, people!
Very unfortunate that children these days are not taught respect for other people's property, which leads to middle school / high schoolers doing this ding-dong ditching.
Oh, they were ding-dong ditching. That was so fun when I was younger. I still don't blame them. I don't think they were trying to do anything serious. They were just having fun, nothing bad about that.
The comments on here are why real criminals get by with what they do. People have no idea whether it's a prank or a criminal. These days, you have to be careful and ignore the ding-dong ditch or someone needs help comments. They are irrelevant. I've read that criminals are now turning on the outside water so people come out and they're getting robbed. It's a sad state, but always err on the side of caution. If someone needs help, call the police for them.
I'm only 17, so I used to do this not too long ago. It's not the same when it's your family. I can't wait to have random kids do this to me. I'm going to give them what they came for.
I'll say this. The person has scared my child. And now every sound my child hears at the door sets them on edge. Ding-dong ditching may be fun for the ditcher, but it isn't fun for the family.
I'm going to give them what they came for.
You already said
All
that.
I'm saying is I was a kid once. I understand what you're saying, and I know that you're completely right. I also used to do things like that as a child, so I'm saying it's not like they are scaring anyone on purpose. They have no intention to cause harm, so I can also understand them too.
Only 17, but she remembers when she was younger and used to do it. Who's there? Come in.
I'm just curious as to how that person has a traumatic experience from experiencing a ding-door
Right.
ditch.
Ding door darn ditching. That's what I want.
Get real. I'm sorry,
Get
but
real, be real.
get real. Like, no, you're faking it.
That was so funny. I was like, your kid is traumatized by hearing someone ring the doorbell? And this was posted today at like 6 p.m. And it's like, no kid is asleep at that point.
Right.
So what freaked you out? Probably because you fucking screamed
Yeah.
that you saw a random a kid. Because they're also trying to say that person looks a little too old to be ding-dong ditching. And like you can see the picture. They look like they're like 13. So no,
Yeah.
they
What does it
look
matter?
about right. According to the 17-year-old, they look like kids.
Yeah. It's just dumb. Scared white people, Carson. They
Hey.
will never stop being scared.
That's what keeps America running. Scared white people. I should put that on a T-shirt.
I put that on a hat.
I'll put that on my.
I need to put that on the back of a T-shirt and sell it.
Put that on the back of my hat. Kevin.
That I'm not even kidding. That almost got me.
It almost gets me too, and I'm the one who's playing it. So figure that out. What are you listening to this week? You said the Beatles? Who's
I'm
that?
listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
Oh, what a fucking surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Wow, real original.
Yeah, I know.
Are you actually listening to that, or were you like,
No.
we're going to talk about the Beatles today?
No, I was genuinely listening to it this week, and I remember just how awesome it was.
I'm going to give it a listen.
I remember listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Hearts. Fuck. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band Super Deluxe Edition that they released a couple years ago, and crying.
Rest in peace, Super Deluxe.
Yeah.
And crying?
Yeah, I cried because
Why?
I was like, this is beautiful.
Baby.
No, because I was like, this is how they intended it for it to be to sound.
How old were you when you cried at this?
Like 16.
Okay.
What year did this come out? When
Wow.
did they release this? I
Whoa.
don't know.
Have you heard the
When did they release this?
Revolver Deluxe thing that they just released?
No, I haven't.
I need to. Vic was tweeting about how amazing it is.
But it was
So-
just really cool to hear. Okay, I'm just also gonna preface this.
Yeah.
Most of the songs that I know from the Beatles, I have
Beatles rock band.
yeah, Beatles rock band. I have like visuals in my head that go along with these, so I know the way the songs looked
Because of Beatles rock
because
band.
of Beatles rock band to me.
That's the most legit thing you can get to playing a real instrument.
I've heard. But yeah, I really it was just really crisp. I don't know when they released the Super Deluxe Edition. Let me
What
find
was on the Super Deluxe that made you cry? Thank you, Alexa. Do appreciate that. Oh, that's good. Oh, is it? No, I'm okay.
Yeah, 2017.
I'm
So I was 17.
Okay.
So it was
But again,
8 years ago.
I'll ask the same question.
No, 4 years. 5 years ago. 6
I'll-
years ago.
I'll ask the question again. 2017 was 5 years ago.
Yeah, but I was 17.
What made you cry? What was on there
I
that
think
made you
it
cry?
was. I think it was one of the takes.
Oh, so it was a bunch of different takes.
Yeah, there's like takes. They have like a day in the life, take 1, day in the life, take 2, and it was really. This was before the Get Out. Like there was no like
Right.
footage of them recording this stuff, and
Right.
like you would only hear it. And I think I remember hearing some of this stuff, and I'm like, this is incredible. I was like, this is the way that they wanted us to listen to it. I was not high while I was listening to this, by the way, for anyone that might be considering that.
I believe you.
But like there's like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Jesus, man, I'm turning to Donald Trump. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Speech, False Start, and Take 5. Like I think I remember listening to that and being like, I'm like, wow, they weren't these flawless people. I mean, you know, obviously they had their faults as people, but they weren't flawless musicians.
Right.
But you would know that if you like obviously recorded a song before. You don't use a first take every time.
Mm-hmm.
You could, but I'm just saying like there's people that like they getting better take 12. Like I can't
Damn.
imagine playing the songs like that many times.
Oof.
So,
And you watch all
Um,
of the Get Back and
yeah.
see how anal Paul is about his own songs, but
Yeah.
others he doesn't give a fuck.
Well, I
He'll
mean that's
do that in one
yeah.
take and be like, "No, I think that was good.
Yeah.
but we need to do Eleanor Rigby 17,000 fucking times.
I think we should do it one more time.
Let's do it one more time."
But yeah, I love this album, front to back. Great. I did not mean to press that. Sorry.
Jesus.
But
Jesus. Got that
um,
whiskey finger again.
yeah, it's really bad. But yeah, I didn't even know what Lovely Rita was about, and
Mm.
I think there's, again, I might be getting like fake news here, but I think, someone had said something about, or Paul had said like, he's like, I thought it was funny how you guys call them meter maids, and I wanted to write a song about it.
That's weird. I actually heard it was originally called Lovely Velveeta, but it was like Lovely Vita. And he's talking about Velveeta. He was a big fan of Velveeta cheese and put it in macaroni and what have you. So I don't think that's fake news. That has to be real, because Paul had a love for cheese, I heard. That's why he wrote Honey Pie.
Wow.
Did you find it? Because otherwise, maybe we should...
The term meter maid, largely unknown in the UK before the song's release, is American slang for a female traffic warden. According to some sources, quote, Lovely Rita originates from when a female traffic warden named Meta Davies issued a parking ticket to McCartney outside Abbey Road Studios. Instead of becoming angry, he accepted it with good grace and expressed his feelings in the song. When he asked why he called her Rita, McCartney replied, well, she looked like a Rita to me. Wow. McCartney refuted the idea that this episode inspired the song. Quote, it wasn't based on a real person. I think it was more of a question of coincidence. I didn't think, wow, that woman gave me a ticket. I'll write a song about her. Never happened like that. And his inspiration came from hearing the term meter maid, after which he began writing the song when visiting his brother Michael in Liverpool.
So it is about a meter maid,
Yeah.
but just not that
Yeah,
specific.
just not that one that gave him a parking ticket. But I thought it was interesting that like nobody in the nobody knew Americans called them meter maids.
Right.
And ever since then, I've started referring to cops as meter maids. So yeah,
I call them fucking pigs.
yeah. There you go. Fuck 12. And you snort just like that. But
So Sgt. Pepper's
Sergeant
Super
Pepper's
Deluxe.
no, just Sergeant Pepper's like normal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
That's your
good.
recommendation.
Yeah, that's my recommendation.
All right. I am listening to
Oh wow, what a surprise!
as foreshadowed earlier. That's why it's not a surprise. Not for any other reason. Well, it is the EP by the band Foreign Hands called Bleed the Dream. Now, when I first saw that Foreign Hands was going to be opening up for See You Space Cowboy and Counterparts, I was like, okay, opener band. I'll check them out. And then I went to their Instagram and I was like, oh shit. The lead vocalist guy, lead singer, whatever you want to call him, is the either rhythm or lead guitar player in the band. I'm blanking. In the band Wrist Meets Razor. Sorry, Jesus Christ. He's the guitar player in Wrist Meets Razor, which is another fucking really, really good band. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because the first time I saw See You Space Cowboy, Wrist Meets Razor was like, opening for them. So I knew them because of that, and I knew him because of that. And I was like, oh, I don't know what his vocals sound like. And I listened to that EP, and I was like, oh, this is actually really good. It surprised me how good it was. And then like seeing them live, I was like, oh yeah. And it kind of took me out of it a little bit because it's like, you can definitely tell they're a newer band, so they're not great as a band altogether. Their drummer really sucked. Just saying it. Sorry. He was
didn't keep time or
not on time, missing like every cue, every beat, was just like bad. Guitar player, bass player were good. They were fine, but they didn't really have any like character to them. Like they were just kind of like there, and they did some things, but you could just tell that it's like not really what they were wanting to do, like physically up on stage. But it was like, I gotta do something, or at least look like somebody else I've watched do it. But the lead singer, the vocalist guy, whose name, of course, I don't know off the top of my head, was like, had a great stage presence, was such a good front man that like I could take everything out of it and just focus on him and be like, this is really fucking good. And one of the best live hardcore vocalists I've ever heard. Like just like exactly
It's a bold take.
Exactly how he sounds on the album. Like he's just like so good, and it's like a cool different sound where it's like not super deep, but it's also not like really high like Knock Loose singer Brian. But it's like kind of like it's kind of a mix between two different ones. It's just very good, and he was like, yeah, it was just amazing to see him live, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a really fucking good band once they kind of polish out the turds. And no offense to those other guys, sorry, but just
It
clean
comes
up
with
your
time.
act.
It comes with time.
So, Bleed the Dream,
Getting
EP.
comfortable doing the songs.
Exactly.
And,
And like I said, I'm not like fuck
Get on
this
your
band or
shit.
anything. Like I
Yeah.
get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would go up there and shit my pants and probably do the exact same thing.
right.
And I'm not a good musician. So there's 5 songs on this album. My favorite that you should go listen to is Hesitation Marks. Super good, even better live. But all these songs are good. They've released some newer stuff after this, but really good EP. Every song is a song I would listen to over again. But yeah, anyways, let's wrap it up. 2 hours. We went on long, but it was good. You're not stressed out because you don't have to work. You're off school as of today, right?
Mhm.
For the rest of the week.
Yep.
So we're relaxing, had a couple of drinks in us. And it was a fun one, man. It was a good one. We had lots of laughs and lots of stories to be shared. And I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I'm looking at the camera. It's still not on.
It's not changing.
It's not changing.
Well, everybody, thanks for listening to the Exciting All Kinds podcast, episode 90. We'll be here. You'll be here listening to us. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep rating the podcast. Keep enjoying yourself. Take a minute to think about things, okay? Take a minute to enjoy your time and things.
Take a minute to say thank you to your favorite podcast in the world, which is us.
Goodbye, bye.